The man known as the war demon held the lifeless body of his frail lover close, tears streaming down his face. No matter how many times I return to the past, the end is the same. Every single time, she dies right before my eyes. If this is the only way, I would rather end her life with my own hands. After hundreds of failed regressions, the war demon finally realized that saving the woman he loved was an impossible dream. In total despair, he walked into the village all alone. Everywhere he stepped, red flames scorched the earth until the entire empire was devoured. As the fire burning, the empire faded into black ash. Absolutely nothing remained. He did not hesitate to end it all. The end. Thank you for following Drawing the Sword until now. A woman gripped her phone, overcome with emotion. Unbelievable. The dark-haired girl trembled and started to cry, whispering to herself. In 2 years as an editor, this was the first time she had ever cried over an ending like this. Dear author, this is not even a normal romance or fantasy story anymore. What were you thinking? This is not just a bad ending. It is a total disaster for the readers. As soon as the author picked up, she screamed, "What is up with this ending? It is completely different from the original plan. What kind of romance ends like that?" The author sipped some coffee and replied calmly, "Because I like it. If you do not fix the draft, I will cancel our contract." She screamed inside as strangers stared. The light turned green and she stepped out, pleading softly. "Cancel the contract? Please do not do that, author. Can we just meet and talk? If things stay this way, the hero will go insane and destroy the world. Readers do not want that ending." As she said this, she suddenly froze, sensing something behind her. She turned her head slightly, her eyes widening in disbelief for a moment. She screamed in terror, "Oh my God, are you crazy?" Then scrambled away. "Hey, watch where you are going. Use your eyes when you drive. What were you thinking, running a red light like that?" Before she could finish, a loud crash echoed out. The crowd panicked instantly. "Are you okay? Someone has been hit." As her consciousness faded, she thought bitterly, "This sucks. I should have just let that truck hit me earlier. Getting hit by a blue car ruined my entire mood." As she thought this, her eyes slowly closed. In the pitch-black darkness, sudden voices rang out. "Suana, wake up right now. Are you getting up or not?" The silver-haired girl suddenly opened her eyes. A blonde girl screamed at her angrily. "It is your turn to clean today." The silver-haired girl was stunned, looking around. Where was she and who was she? The blonde pulled her arm irritably. "Is this how a trainee Saintess acts? Get up, hurry." She was shocked. "Wait, I am a trainee Saintess?" Holding the laundry, she looked around. This building was magnificent, everything made of pure white stone. She glanced around. Everyone was wearing the exact same neat uniform. So these are the ones they call Saintesses. I have seen stuff like this on the news before. If this is not a cult, I will eat my hat. But anyway, how did I become a Saintess named Suana? I remember calling the author on the street and getting hit by a car. Since I am still conscious, I must not be dead. This must be a dream before I wake up. She sighed. Being a romance editor is finally killing me. Even my dreams are way too dramatic. When I wake up, I am taking a vacation. I wonder if this accident counts for insurance? Suddenly, something caught her eye and pulled her focus. Across from her, 2 Saintesses were whispering together. "Really? I am telling you the truth. That is exactly what happened." Looking at the scene, she thought, dream or not, there are slackers everywhere. It really does not need to be this realistic. Honestly, it is just a dream, so worrying is useless. I will just wait to wake up. The 2 were still gossiping. "Did you hear? He is about to be named a count. Lord Raphael Winters." Those words stopped her cold, her heart skipping a beat. She jumped and dropped her basket, but the other kept talking. "Oh, right. I heard he was given the King Chris territory." Suana rushed over, her voice sharp. "What did you 2 just say?" The dark-haired girl immediately shouted back. "Suana, what are you doing? Do you still not know your place?" Suana ignored her and screamed. "I asked what you just said." She stammered. Lord Raphael Winters performed great deeds in battle, so he is coming to the temple for his title and land from the emperor. Suana gritted her teeth and repeated the words. The king Chris territory. Suana realized with horror, you know, that cursed land. She could not believe it. Suana slapped herself hard in the face. Ah, what is wrong with her? I do not know. She has gone crazy. She touched her cheek and whispered, that hurts. The brown-haired girl could not hear and asked, what? What did you say? Suddenly, Suana grabbed the other girl by the collar. Suddenly, Suana screamed, drawing the sword means cutting. The dark-haired girl turned pale and stammered. What was that? The blonde girl rushed over to help and yelled, hey, do not you think you are being too much? Come here and apologize properly. Raphael Winters. King Crit. This cursed land is real. This is not a dream. My head throbbed in despair. I had transmigrated into a book as a background character destined to die. I collapsed, drained. A car hit me while I was arguing about this stupid ending. The lead goes mad, burns the empire, then ends it all. Why this novel? I froze as a terrifying thought hit. Wait, that means this entire place will soon become a sea of fire because of that man. I slammed my head against the floor and screamed. What did I do to deserve this kind of misery? Dear author, help me. Two girls nearby stared in shock. What on earth is she talking about? God took 6 days to create the world and 1 to rest. This lunatic destroys it all in 7. He is so insane even Satan would call him master. Dream or novel, if I just sit here, I will burn with the rest of them. I have to avoid that ending at all costs. A girl walked over, looking worried. Suana, are you okay? I do not know what is bothering you, but I am sure we can find a way to fix it. Calm down, I whispered to myself. A solution. Right. If I just think this through, there has to be a way out. She was still trying to soothe me, telling me to go back to my room. Suddenly, I bolted upright and yelled, we have to run. What? How can you say something so blasphemous? Even if you are joking, you should never say such a thing. I ignored her. If I stay, I am just waiting to die. From what I remember, Raphael regressed multiple times after he was made a count. I do not know which timeline this is, but if it is before his title ceremony, I still have time before the fire starts. So the first step is simple. Once I decided, I turned and asked her, how do I leave this sanctuary for good? The dark-haired girl looked stunned. What? Were you actually serious when you said you were going to run away? Snap out of it. Suana, do you know what happens when a Saintess abandons God? If you are not actually quitting, how do you plan to leave? That made me freeze for a second. Then it clicked. My face lit up. So you are saying I can leave if I just quit? They both looked panicked. What did you just say? I was confused. It is just a resignation, is it not? Why the overreaction? I turned and walked away. I just have to walk out the door, right? Well, I am going now. I was not looking where I was going and slammed into someone. I lost my balance and hit the floor hard. The person leaned in and asked, leave? Did I hear that correctly? Suana, you just said you were leaving the sanctuary? I looked up, totally frustrated. She looked like she had been here forever. A high-ranking official, probably. Fine. I will just tell her directly then. I was blunt. Yes, I am leaving. Now please step aside. Before I could finish, she lunged forward and snatched the necklace from my neck. Then her voice turned ice-cold. When you leave this sanctuary today, you may take nothing with you. Nothing but your pathetic body that betrayed God. I was silent for a moment. Then I said, I understand. She looked shocked. What did you just? I cut her off. I said I am leaving on my own 2 feet. Oh, so I do not need to be polite anymore, do I? I smirked with a triumphant look in my eyes. I turned and left, sticking my tongue out at her. I walked away without looking back. Did she really think her little speech would make me stay? Not a chance. The guard stood there frozen in shock. He quickly asked, Saintess, where are you going? I rushed past the gates and yelled, I am not a Saintess anymore. I quit. I jumped for joy. Oh, the sweet smell of freedom. It was exactly like I had imagined it would be. Dealing with you people was exhausting. Hope I never see you again. But reality is cruel. Once again, I was jolted awake. Suana, wake up. Are you getting up or not? I snapped my eyes open, terrified. What? I bolted upright so fast the blonde girl jumped back. Good grief, she screamed. Are you crazy? Why are you suddenly yelling like that? I was totally confused and whispered. Wait, did I not just leave? The blonde girl frowned in annoyance. What on earth are you babbling about now? Do you think just anyone can walk out of this sanctuary? Someone like you would be finished the second you stepped outside those gates. I froze, my voice trembling. I know for a fact I left this sanctuary. The memory was crystal clear. There was no way that was just a dream. But the moment I stepped outside, I was pulled right back to the exact second I first entered this body. This cannot be happening. Just like Raphael Winters, have I regressed too? I was still determined to leave. I am not a Saintess anymore. The blonde girl jumped. What? She quickly grabbed my arm and pulled me back. Hey, you! Stop right there, she screamed. Who said you could just quit? It is your turn to clean today, and you dare to leave while still wearing the holy necklace? I touched the necklace and pouted. I remembered that high-ranking woman snatching it earlier. Why is everyone so obsessed with this piece of jewelry? Fine. I took the necklace off and handed it to her. There. Are you satisfied now? Now stop following me. All you people care about is this stupid necklace, right? I am just borrowing these clothes for now. The blonde girl stood there, confused. I only used the necklace as a threat. Is she actually leaving for real? I did not wait. I just ran. First, I have to confirm if I can actually leave this temple. If stepping outside triggers a reset, I will never escape that wall of fire. I close my eyes, heart sinking. If I die here, there might be no second chance. This is the absolute end of the line. I cannot let that happen, no matter what. That same familiar scene starts playing out right before my eyes once again. The guard asks where I think I am going. I just look at him and snap. I quit. I bolt past him so fast his wig literally flies off his head. He just stands there, stunned, staring at his hair on the pavement. A moment later, he slowly kneels down, picks it up, and mutters, "Oh, I see." I keep running straight ahead. I am full of doubt, but nothing changes unless I move. I have to verify this for myself. With that, I take a leap of faith and jump right out of the cathedral. I land safely, standing tall on my feet. I pause for a beat and steal a glance behind me. Finally, I turn around to face the gate head-on. I speak nervously. I actually left the temple and I did not reset. I take a breath, and a happy smile spreads across my face. It is best to get as far away as possible. With a skip in my step, I start heading out. Maybe leaving the sanctuary does not automatically trigger a reset. I ran just in case, but looking at this place, I am starting to feel uneasy. Is this a village? I might be able to pick up some useful information here to help with my escape plan. The book only ever mentioned the territory of King Kreese, so I have no idea where I am. I will just wander for a bit. Suddenly, some guy slams into my shoulder. I lose my balance and hit the ground hard. He looks annoyed and gives me this nasty glare. I clutch my aching shoulder, thinking, wait, did he just hiss at me? What an absolute jerk. Then I hear him mutter something about bad luck. I am fuming. He is the one who ran into me, so why is he acting like that? Nearby, a little boy tugs on his mother's hand. Look, Mom, that girl who fell looks just like the Saintess. Check out the patterns on her clothes. The woman quickly covers his mouth. Shh, keep your voice down, sweetie. She glares at me with pure disgust. Without that necklace, you are not a Saintess. You are just a demon. I am absolutely horrified. The Saintess necklace? Wait, the one I just threw back at them? I am tearing my hair out. Is everyone really acting like this just because I am not wearing it? Is this some kind of extreme cult? If you do not have a necklace, you are treated like a monster? I have never seen a plot point like this. The boy whispers, she is weird. Mom is right. She is probably a demon. Wait, I freeze. Thinking back, did that novel even mention a saintess or a temple? In the world of Draw Your Sword, things are different. It was supposed to be a story about a lady and a mad knight in love. As I am thinking, A stone flies out of nowhere and hits my forehead. I look down at my hand. My heart stops. It is blood. The villagers are the ones doing this. They all start screaming, "Witch, get out of our village right now. Go back to hell where you belong. How does a witch like you have the nerve to show her face here?" I am stunned. I have no idea what is happening. I know this book inside and out, and this setting should not exist. Is this really the world of draw your sword? Or did I stumble into some weird cult scripture? I am running when suddenly, I trip over a massive tree root. I hit the ground hard. I try to sit up and check my leg. Ow, it hurts so much. Everything is scraped up. Why is this happening to me? Then, the blonde girl's words hit me. Do you not know what happens to a saintess who turns her back on God? Someone like you, the very second you step outside. I can't help but smirk. So that is what they meant. They could have just said it. As night falls, my eyes are drawn to a house up ahead. I frown, totally confused. Where did this house come from? There was nothing but grass and trees here a second ago. Still, I walk up and knock. I guess since this is a novel, a house just conveniently appears right when I am about to collapse from exhaustion. I call out softly, "Hello? Is anyone home? I am so sorry to bother you, but would it be possible for me to stay just for one night?" I have no idea that something is appearing right under my feet. Before I can even finish, the door swings open. I am frozen, watching the door creak open all by itself. Still, I push my way inside and whisper, "Excuse me." I ask again, my voice trembling, "Can I come inside?" I do not even notice the countless shadows silently gathering right in front of me. I look around and sigh. There is really nobody here. Then, suddenly, bang, the front door slams shut, making me scream at the top of my lungs. I try to calm down, heart still racing. That was terrifying. It was probably just the wind, right? Does that mean this place is abandoned? I flop down on the floor and sigh. Whatever, I am too tired to care. Even if the owner comes back, I need to sleep first. As I drift off, I mumble, "Whoever owns this place, I am sorry. I will clean everything up before I leave. Please, just let me stay for one night." As she drifted into a deep sleep, she prayed the nightmare would just vanish like a dream. But Suana didn't know. In the darkness, countless eyes and silent hands were reaching out for her. Next morning, the bright sun hit Suana's eyes, slowly waking her up. She sat up and stretched. It wasn't a dream. Suana's eyes widened in shock as she looked down at her clothes and frowned. What is this? How did I get so dirty after just one single day? Standing up, she brushed herself off. Probably the rocks yesterday, and I can't even wash this. Why is it white? Just then, her stomach let out a loud growl. Suana started walking, never noticing that she had just stepped on something strange underneath her feet. She rubbed her stomach and groaned. I'm hungry already. I wish there was food nearby. I've rested enough, time to go. She reached for the handle to open the door. She had no idea that dark shadows were silently following behind her. She tried to shut the door but froze. It wouldn't budge. A massive, ghostly figure was standing right there, blocking the doorway. Terrified, Suana pulled the door with all her might. The ghost gripped it tight, trying to hold on, but it was no match for her strength. The door slammed shut with a bang, and a painful growl echoed. Suana walked away, rubbing her aching arm and complaining. This door is stuck so bad, she muttered. She didn't see the ghost's severed hand trembling on the ground right behind her. Hey, you! A sudden shout startled her. A man was pointing his finger directly toward the house she just left. Did you just come out of that house? Suana hesitated. Me? Well, yeah. He screamed in terror. You actually slept in there? Suana covered her face. Gross, you're spitting on me, old man. He kept shouting questions. Didn't you hear anything weird? Like dragging sounds or crying? She waved him off. No, I didn't hear a thing. Does anything hurt? Like you can't breathe or move your body? He kept pressing for answers, looking completely panicked. Suana was speechless. This sounded way too familiar. In times like this, running is the best option. She immediately turned away. Behind her, the man kept calling out, Hey, Where are you going? Are you sure you're really okay? Suana hiked into the forest, scowling. This is so annoying. I'm hungry and wasting time. Life is hard enough as it is. The next day, another person saw Suana and screamed, "You, did you really stay in that house and survive?" She wondered if this place was some kind of local legend. The following day, the same thing happened again. "Hey, why did you come out of there? Didn't you hear anything inside that house?" Suana yawned and answered calmly, "Yeah, I slept like a log." The next day, before the man could finish speaking, she cut him off. "I'm not sick. I heard nothing. And I'm perfectly sane. If you're not giving me money, move along." Night fell again. Suana was so angry her eyes rolled back. She looked at the sky and screamed, "What is the problem? I'm not a monkey in a zoo. Why does everyone ask if I'm sick?" She hissed, feeling completely frustrated and annoyed. Who would even like this place anyway? She flopped down onto the ground. "Whatever. Thinking about it just makes me tired. Please, I hope I wake up in my old world tomorrow." After she fell asleep, a pitch-black hand slowly appeared and touched her shoulder. More and more dark shadows began to emerge, silently surrounding her in the middle of the night. It bared its razor-sharp teeth and leaned toward her. The next morning, a loud pounding on the door woke Suana up. She jumped. She worried. Please don't tell me this house actually belongs to someone. The thought made her heart race. "Oh, I have to open the door first." Suana rushed over and started rambling. "Sorry, are you the owner? I'm really, really sorry. I'm not the type of person who just breaks into someone else's house like this. But yesterday was an emergency." She stopped mid-sentence when she saw the man at the door. One thought filled her mind. "Wow, he is incredibly handsome." Then, he gave a signal. Two of his men immediately grabbed her and held her tightly in place. "Former Saint Suana, you're under arrest for being a witch who serves demons." Suana's eyes widened in total shock. "What?" He explained, "There are reports of a saint frequently living inside houses that have been possessed by evil spirits." Suana pointed at herself and yelled, "What jerk reported a law-abiding citizen like me? This has to be a mistake. And what demons? What is going on? This isn't a horror story. This is supposed to be a romantic drama, right?" Suana asked again, "Are you saying that things like evil spirits and demons actually exist here?" He pointed to the house with a cold voice. "That house, and every other place you've stayed in since you arrived. Because demons took them over. Normal people would die instantly just by going near them." Suana's lip twitched. She thought he was just being delusional. Seeing her face, he asked coldly, "Why that expression? Are you hiding something? Witch?" Suana forced a smile. "No, it's just that this is ridiculous. Who believes in demons in this day and age?" She thought to herself, especially in some cheesy romance novel. Then, she snapped and screamed, "Well, what about it? Why don't you just admit you saw them and get it over with?" The second those words left her mouth, the room went ice cold. The two guards traded looks, eyes wide with shock. That's when Suana felt the first prickle of fear. Was this real? He barked a cold order and they dragged her away. Suana thrashed wildly, "No, I already told you I'm not a witch. Let me go." Once they arrived, he shoved Suana forward without a hint of mercy. He bowed low and reported respectfully, "Per your command, I have captured the devil's servant, Great Saintess." She stared at Suana in silence for a long time before offering a thin smile. "Excellent work, Commander Michael." He lowered his head. "It was nothing. I only did what any loyal son of Mandela should do." Right then, Suana spoke up, catching the woman's eye. "Excuse me, Great Saintess, but as you can see, I've been completely framed. Witches, demons, I don't know the first thing about any of that." She carefully raised her bound hands. "So, if it's not too much trouble, could you maybe untie me?" The woman stepped closer, leaning down to look her in the eye, whispering, "How tragic. Since you serve the devil, there is no salvation for you." A cold shiver ran down Suana's spine. "Wait, what? Come again?" Suana screamed, "What is that supposed to mean? Who's the devil's servant here?" The woman turned away with a dark, knowing smile. "There's no other way. We must begin the ritual immediately." Suana's eyes went wide with terror. You don't mean? She stammered. Is it the stake? Suana fought back with everything she had. You lunatics, stop. I told you I'm innocent. This is insane. Have you all lost your minds? The great Saintess let out a tiny, triumphant smirk. Staring at the torch in their hands, Suana wondered, was she really going to die like this? What had she even done wrong? She just wanted to live. Suana shrieked in a total panic. Hey, mister, don't light that. Don't you dare light it. I'm not a witch. I will sue every last one of you at the Human Rights Commission. You damn side characters. You think you're safe? You think this lasts forever? Your time will come. This whole place will turn into a sea of fire. Suana screamed, her face contorted. It's too hot. Please, someone, put it out. Under the Saintess's victorious gaze, her voice finally faded into a pit of despair. Put it out. Suana's vision blurred, her mind slipping away as she whispered, please. Then, Swan's eyes snapped open in sheer terror. A blonde girl stood over her, shouting, how much longer are you going to lay there? It's your turn to clean today. Drenched in cold sweat, Suana wondered what just happened. The sensation of the flames was still so vivid. Had she really looped back again? Swan's voice trembled as she called for Iro. Iro looked back, confused. Huh? Swan pressed. Have you ever seen a witch trial before? Iro frowned, baffled. Where is this coming from? Did you have a nightmare? She paused to think. Actually, I have seen one. Twice when I was a kid. Both were saintesses. They were burned at the stake for running away, couldn't handle life in the holy temple. Iro raised an eyebrow. But don't think you can use a nightmare to get out of work. Suana's hands tightened into fists. Suana thought, if I keep resetting like this, will I ever be free? Am I stuck here until this novel finally ends? Iro studied Suana with a suspicious gaze before suddenly snapping. Hey, you ask a question and then just ignore me? You think just because you're a baron's daughter, you can do whatever? No matter what tricks you pull, you're just an apprentice saintess who cleans all day, like me. If you get it, then start scrubbing. Now, seeing Suana's silence, she scowled again. Just look at you. What a mess. Suana finally snapped. Clean, clean, clean. Is that the only word you know? Is cleaning all we ever do? Io jumped back. Suana bolted out of bed, grabbing her by the shoulders and shaking her hard. I'm a saintess too, not your maid. Suana flinched and stepped back, stunned. Wait, are you crying? Io sobbed, her voice shaking. You had a lethal fever for days. I've done your chores for 10 days straight. And now you're ignoring me. Last night I was scared you'd stop breathing. Suan scratched her chin. Every time she reset, it was always this exact moment. Did the original Suana actually die? This is such a mess. But she must have gone through so much suffering. Suana stepped forward, placing a hand on her shoulder with a smile. Sorry, I'll do all your work for the next 10 days. Io froze. Really? Suan nodded. Of course. Just show me what needs doing. You know this temple way better than I do anyway. Iro pouted but kept listening. After a moment, Io spoke up. About time you started showing some common sense. They gotta work. Let's start in the kitchen. That needs a deep clean today. Yes, I'm counting on you, senior. Duana followed, thinking, if I can just win over the people here and gather enough intel on the temple, I'm definitely escaping this damn cult. Outside, Duana began sweeping the trash from the front courtyard of the temple. Suana paused to wipe the sweat from her forehead. Watching Iro, she realized how helpful the girl was, especially since she loved being called senior. She had even managed to locate the archives where all the records on the saintesses were kept. As a mere trainee saintess, I have no right to enter. What now? Has anyone else noticed her working harder lately? Hearing that, I immediately pressed my ear to the stone. I ducked behind a pillar to eavesdrop. Someone asked, who? The answer came back, the Baron's daughter. Oh, you mean the social outcast? Rumor has it she is not even the Baron's real daughter. I froze. What? Am I not his biological child? The priestess wondered what that even meant. They say the Baroness had an affair, so the Baron disowned me completely and refused to recognize the child. He denied her his name, kept her locked in a dusty attic until she was 9, then sold her to the temple at 10 years old. No real father would do that. I slipped away quietly, pitying the girl I used to be. I never expected a past so dark and cruel. Whether it was the original soul or me trying to survive in this garbage world, the struggle is exactly the same. Suddenly, the head chef burst in and shouted my name. Suana! Suana! Are you in there? I stepped forward. Are you looking for me? Pow Pow looked relieved to find me. There you are. Where is your shift tomorrow? I told him the library. He seemed very anxious. When are you back in my kitchen? Nobody else here is half as good as you. I felt a bit embarrassed. Chef, please don't be hard on them. I just got lucky with your high standards. I am truly grateful to help the man who feeds the entire temple. Pow beamed with pride as he looked at me. Then he asked, how old are you now? I turn 18 next month. Pow leaned in and whispered in my ear, I will speak with Barbara to ensure you are promoted to an official Saintess once you come of age. Remember that. I shook my head humbly. An official Saintess? I could never accept such a high honor. He told me I was being too modest and to just trust him. I acted flustered, calling out his name. Deep down, I knew it was a 100% certainty. I had reached the rank of official Saintess in every previous loop. How many times had I lived through this cycle now? To reach that official rank, I had to appear incredibly hardworking. I had to be so obedient that everyone knew my face and saw my terrifying devotion. Every night, I stood before the prayer room, faking deep sincerity and shedding tears for show. Eventually, the high priestess would appear with her fake smile, and the promotion followed the very next day. Damn it, it is the same every time. The real problem starts after that. The high priestess smiled at me. Suana, may Moandala's light watch over you. That light slowly drifted toward me, eventually landing right on the back of my hand. Suddenly, a six-pointed star burned into my skin. The heat was blinding, and I quickly covered the mark with my other hand. Everyone turned to stare in shock. Then, they drew their swords and pointed them at me. The agony of the holy relic meant certain death. However, after surviving countless regressions, I had learned to endure even the most agonizing things, like being burned alive by holy fire. The high priestess gave me a satisfied smile. I nodded back, though I found the whole thing exhausting. It took many loops to realize the truth. The only safe way to escape this temple was to participate in the purification ritual, a mission reserved for official saintesses. While I was changing into my robes, the high priestess reminded me that a count would be invested tomorrow. It was my first official event as a saintess. I had to be there. I bowed respectfully. I understand, high priestess. It had been such a long, exhausting journey just to get to this moment. Once the ceremony was over, I planned to take the purification task and vanish from the temple forever. At least, that was my plan. The next morning, the temple was packed with people gathered to welcome the new count. But when I saw exactly who arrived, my heart nearly stopped. I was absolutely terrified. So, the star of today's ceremony is you, Raphael Winters. Someone announced that today was a day of celebration for a hero of the Empire, a man with legendary deeds on the battlefield. Raphael Winters was granted his title and the King Chris lands. The air went silent. I watched him tensely. What was he thinking? Just say your thanks and get it over with. The high priestess spoke. Count Raphael Winters, may you always serve the Empire with loyalty. Raising her hand, she continued, may the Supreme One in the heavens watch over you. May the light of Moandala forever protect you. I looked at Raphael and froze. What was going on? He was staring right at me. That gaze was terrifying. He looked exactly like someone who could tear the entire world apart. I quickly looked away. I wasn't bowing out of fear. It just wasn't worth the energy to start a fight right now. Raphael continued to stare with those cold eyes. Later, I found myself humming as I walked through a dark cave. The guard told me to watch my step. I told him I understood. He moved ahead, seemingly annoyed by something as he walked. I was confused. What exactly needed purifying in this place? To me, it looked like a perfectly normal cave. Regardless, the purification ritual wasn't my real objective anyway. Raphael Winters had officially received his title, so my time was running out. I had to escape before he lost his mind and burned the entire empire to the ground. In my rush, I didn't see the rock. I tripped and fell. The guard panicked and shouted for me. Saintess, are you okay? Are you hurt? Suan winced, saying, I'm fine. It's just a small scratch. He looked at her wound, worriedly saying, Holy Saintess, that wound. Then he shouted, This is bad. Please leave this place quickly. Suan asked, confused. Huh? He claimed demons love the smell of blood and urged her to go. Suana was speechless at the fanatics, but kept acting. Suana burst into tears, choking out, Sir Mali, it's far too late. Please, leave me behind and run for your life. I will only lure the demons to us. He protested, I cannot leave the Saintess behind and save myself. Oh, Sir Mali, such bravery. The light of Mandala is truly shining upon you. She folded her hands, praying. Oh, Great One, watching over us in this chaos, your radiant light is glorious. You demand devotion, and this humble soul answers with eternal, undying faith. Just then, a golden light began to glow. He stared at her in shock and asked, What? What is that? Suana sighed inwardly with boredom. What an idiot. Look at his face. Does he really believe prayer makes miracles happen? Suana kept praying. No place is beyond the gaze of Mandala, and no place is outside of his divine protection. The guard immediately swept her up. He said, Please, continue the cleansing ritual so we can leave this place together. Suana thought to herself, My first Princess Carrie is by this fool? This is honestly so annoying. Outside the cave, the crowd waited. One man pointed at the entrance, stammering. Seeing them emerge, everyone rushed over. Suana kept up the prayer. Every path that leads me forward only brings me closer to you, Great One. Suana watched them, thinking, in this cult, the fact that I was injured yet escaped safely is seen as a rare miracle. Her so-called devotion was praised even more. Suana sighed quietly to herself. What is this? Is it really worth making such a big deal? Since that day, she was sent to an even more dangerous location. The guard said, Once again, we rely on you for this cleansing mission. Holy Saintess, Suana groaned. I should have just run straight out of that cave back then. To avoid being burned at the stake again, she had to keep up the act. Suana leaned her head on her hand, wondering, are there really monsters or spirits here? This world of swords is hardly a mystical realm, yet rumors of demons are everywhere. Still, I have never actually seen a single one. At a small house in the woods, Suana approached an old woman. She thought, I already burned that doll. That counts as a completed cleansing, right? Standing before the woman, she announced the ritual was complete. May the Almighty always be with us. The woman replied gratefully, Oh, thank you so much, Holy Saintess. Then she added, Saintess, I give you my word. She handed over a small cloth bag, but Suana immediately refused. Oh no, I do not do this for material gain. The old woman insisted. No, please, you must take it. Suana looked hesitant on the outside, but inside she was cheering. Hey, thanks a lot, lady. On the way back, Suana thought that cleansing in this world was no different from performing exorcisms in her hometown. Thanks to the donations, her escape fund was full, including today's haul. She could leave right now. Suddenly, a voice called out. Suana turned around as he continued, Forgive me for being late. Seeing him arrive, Suana thought, it's him again. The same guy who stalks me every single time I go out. He stepped forward and introduced himself. It is a pleasure to meet you. I am the Paladin Grand Commander, Michael Severino. Suana smiled back. Yes, the pleasure is mine. Internally, she cursed. It was him, the man who framed her as a heretic and burned her alive the first time. Michael reported that, by the order of the High Priest, he had finished securing the area around the cleansing site. Suana feigned gratitude. Thanks to the support of the High Priest and the Grand Commander, I should offer a prayer before we begin. In her heart, she cursed them both, wishing a miserable death on those two. Michael replied, Thank you, Saintess. Michael suggested, Let us go. I will lead the way. She politely replied, Yes, thank you for your trouble. Suana added silently, I really hope he trips and falls. He led her to an old abandoned house. She excitedly realized this was exactly where she stayed when she first left the temple. A golden opportunity to escape. Suana glanced quickly at Michael as she listened to him speak. In the past, other saintesses who entered this mansion were possessed by evil spirits and died a miserable death. So, if you feel an evil presence, retreat immediately. If you are tainted, I'll have to handle you myself. Michael glanced at Suana as she replied, Mandala is always with me. Michael said nothing, simply staring at her. Suana entered the house. Through the window, she glared at him with anger. What a jerk. It was so hard to stop him from coming inside with me. She scanned the house and whispered, I thought this place only had one floor, but it turns out there's a second level. She lifted her skirt and began walking upstairs. There is even furniture left behind. It looks like someone used to live here once. Pulling out a drawer, she gasped. Oh, there are even clothes here. This is a true blessing. She changed her outfit and remarked, All right, wearing this, I won't look like a saintess anymore. Will I? She remembered the kitchen had a back door. Taking that route would help her avoid his gaze. Suana looked around, searching for it. I found it. Suana's hand trembled as she reached for the door. She slowly pulled it open, thinking that once this door was open, she could finally say goodbye to this cursed cult forever. It was so quiet I could literally hear the sound of my own thoughts. Suana crept out of the house, only to freeze in terror. A pair of boots stood right in front of her. She looked down, trembling. She peeked up, thinking, damn it, I am caught. How did that holy knight track me down? Wait a second. Something is wrong here. When she saw who it was, her heart stopped. She pointed a finger, stuttering. What are you doing here? He lunged forward and covered her mouth. Raphael drew his blade, pressing the cold steel against her neck. He smirked. Just as I thought. You don't fear death at all. He let go but whispered a threat. One scream and you are dead. Just a pathetic little saintess in rags. Suana scowled. Why are you harassing a nobody like me? I spend all my time locked away in the temple. Kill me, and my holy knights will hunt you down. He laughed. Really? Who cares about one more dead saintess who ran away because she couldn't handle a curse? Suana bit her lip. Damn it. He was right about everything. Fine, she whispered. What do you want? Raphael watched her. In the temple, he thought she was a hallucination, but no, she really did hate him. They were strangers. It was forbidden for Count Winters to meet a saintess alone. I will call for the holy knights immediately if you do not leave. Raphael warned her again. I told you, scream, and you die. Suana snapped. Who cares? You are the one standing in my way. She figured even if she died now, she could just restart. It would just be a massive pain. Raphael chuckled. In your way? Then tell me why you are wearing commoner clothes during your working hours? He added, especially clothes practically dripping with the resentment of the dead. Her heart sank into her stomach. Dead resentment. Can he see them too? Whatever. It doesn't matter. I need to get out of here right now. She tried to back away slowly, but he matched her step for step. Move, she hissed. Raphael whispered. Where do you think you're going? None of your business. Just get out of my way. Raphael studied her with a cold, calculating gaze. Ah, possessed by an evil spirit. Are we? Those aren't your footsteps. Suana panicked, putting her hands up. No, listen to me. But he cut her off, insisting she was just a puppet for the spirit in those clothes. She finally snapped. Suana kicked his shin as hard as she could, muttering, Enough. This is absolute nonsense. Listen to me, you arrogant male lead. Raphael flinched from the kick, looking stunned. Then, his lips curled into a dark, knowing half-smile. He brushed off his pants and smirked. I knew it. You are definitely not some ordinary, fragile little saintess. Suana was fuming. Wipe that annoying look off your face. What exactly did you see at the ceremony that made you act like this? Raphael just stared at her in total silence. Suana forced a fake smile, but then a vision flashed through her mind. She wondered if the girl felt this same way when she ignored her pleas for help that day. Suana pointed a finger right at his face. Count, you don't have any friends, do you? You've never actually had a real conversation with anyone, have you? Raphael gritted his teeth, his voice dropping to a chill. Excuse me? Suana kept pushing. You don't understand people. You are so bad at talking that you suck the air out of the room every time you speak. If you want information, learn how to talk to people. Didn't anyone teach you how to be a count? Deep down, she knew he wasn't always this way. Back when he was a knight, Raphael's first regression began after the death of Celindia Dawson, the woman he had sworn his life to protect. He turned back time hundreds of times to save her, but always failed. The endless loop rotted his soul until his emotions were completely gone and twisted. Even after that, the cycles wouldn't end. He was trapped in time until he finally transformed into a literal monster. Why was someone who hated humanity this much standing here? Raphael asked. The ceremony. Why were you there? Suana shrugged. I am a high-ranking Saintess. Where else would I be? Raphael snapped back. Impossible. That wasn't your spot. Suana froze. Oh no. Raphael must have seen that ceremony countless times in his past lives. Someone else was always there instead of her. Damn it, what now? She didn't want anything to do with him. I have no idea what you mean. Suddenly, Michael's voice boomed through the air. Saintess Suana? Is everything okay over there? Suana panicked. Great. I stalled for way too long. I should have been at the village gates by now. She whipped around, glaring at Raphael with pure hatred, before forcing herself to sound calm and composed. I don't know why you're being like this, Count. I'm just wearing these clothes for a cleansing ritual to drive away evil spirits. She prayed. Raphael wasn't buying it. Is that so? You sure you weren't trying to run away? Suana ignored him and headed inside. You've got it all wrong. I hope we never meet again. Raphael called out. Your name is Suana, right? She stopped dead in her tracks. He continued. Do you really want to leave the temple? She forced a fake smile. Of course not. Raphael said nothing. He just stared, his heavy gaze putting intense pressure on me. I bolted away, cursing my luck. I'd missed my escape. Outside, Michael hammered the door. Saintess Suana, I'm coming in. He shouted. I panicked. Wait, I'm still praying. My heart was pounding. Why so impatient? I quickly knelt just as Michael shoved the door open. Saintess, are you okay? I didn't look up, staying focused on my prayer. I looked up and smiled. I'm fine, Commander. Inside, I knew I had to move faster. As holy light radiated from me, Michael stood there, stunned. It took a moment to recover. Saintess, this outfit. I offered a mysterious smile while thinking of a believable lie. After a few seconds, I lowered my head. An evil spirit lives in these clothes. Prayer alone won't work. I thought wearing it might help me purify it, but it seems my holy power isn't enough yet. Michael shook his head. It's impressive you weren't possessed by it. But leave now. You've been in here far too long. I flinched. Does he suspect me? I knew I had to push the situation a bit further. Commander, this place is dangerous, I said. We must perform a full purification ceremony tomorrow morning. Michael cut me off immediately. No, you have already pushed yourself way too hard today. I can't rest, I cried. I won't let my own exhaustion stop me from doing God's will. Michael hesitated. The contempt in his eyes was replaced by a flicker of respect. Then please, come with me as soon as possible, he said respectfully. I bowed. I appreciate that. After a long pause, I spoke up awkwardly. I need to change back before we head out. Michael looked embarrassed. I will wait outside. Please come out whenever you are finished. He shut the door. Thank you for understanding, I called. But then my face soured. That man is way too serious. I'll make it happen next time, I thought. But then, something caught my eye. I frowned, picking up a paper from the floor. What's this? The quality is actually quite high. I opened it and froze. The note read, if you ever come back, come and find me. I raised an eyebrow. When did that crazy guy slip this note into my things without me noticing? Back at the temple, I worried he realized I'd regressed. I didn't want to get involved with him and risk slowing my escape. I tossed the crumpled letter into the fireplace. I don't have time for this novel's drama. Suddenly, A memory of the fire flashed back. My mother was screaming, "Where is our daughter? Is she safe?" My father yelled back through the smoke, "I have her. Just get out of here, now. Hurry." I snapped back to the present, my hands clenched into fists. I have to go back home. I have questions for my parents. The next stop for purification is Floriana, right? I pried a loose brick from the wall to find my hidden gear. While checking my map, I carefully recalled Pau's directions. I remember asking him once, "Wow, what is this big black area on the map?" He looked confused. "You don't know map symbols?" I played dumb. "But isn't the sea blue?" Pau laughed and patted my head. "You find maps interesting? I'll bring you more to look at later." "Really? Thank you." I cheered, acting grateful. But inside, I was smirking. That essential map was finally in my hands. The next morning, the journey began. I grabbed my suitcase and walked toward the temple gates. Suddenly, a voice called out from behind me, "Miss Suana." I turned around, surprised. It was Malik. "You're up early," he grinned. "Just the thought of joining a Saintess like you for purification fills me with faith." I forced a fake smile. "Likewise, Sir Malik. I'll be counting on your help today." I figured if Malik got scared and ran away, I could disappear. He happily carried my bags. Suddenly, a sharp voice cut through the air. Malik stopped as a woman I absolutely despised approached us. It was the High Saintess. "The Holy Knight accompanying Suana today will be Michael Severino," she announced coldly. Malik looked stunned. "Wait, not me?" Michael stepped forward. "Correct. There has been a change of plans." The High Saintess turned to me. "Suana, Floriana is a gloomy place. It can be quite dangerous. I decided the Chief Knight should handle this personally. It is only fitting, right?" Her sharp smile sent a cold shiver down my spine. She quickly composed herself and bowed, saying, "Regardless of where I go or who I am with, I am merely a vessel for the divine will of Moandala." The High Priestess nodded. "Then please, remain dedicated as we move forward with the schedule." Saint Suana. "Captain, escort Saint Suana to the carriage immediately." He replied with a respectful bow, "Yes, Your Eminence, it will be done at once." A flash of irritation crossed Suana's eyes. Inwardly, she cursed. That damn cult leader, it is impossible to escape. Being with him makes fleeing tough. Later, in the carriage, Duana stared across at him. Why is he sitting in here instead of riding his horse? It is just so incredibly annoying. Noticing her gaze on him, Michael spoke up. "Does my presence here make you feel uncomfortable?" Duana quickly forced a smile. "No, it is actually much nicer than traveling all alone." He nodded. "I see. You are aware that a Holy Knight's duty is to protect the saint, right?" Duana kept her practiced smile firmly in place. "Yes, of course. But why do you ask?" Michael leaned forward. "It means they also act like a guard dog, ensuring the saint never tries to flee." Duana hid the guilt in her eyes and slowly asked him a question in return. "But Master Michael Severino, the word escape is usually used when fleeing something negative," he asked with a raised eyebrow. "Isn't that right?" She shook her head innocently. "But the temple is sacred, right? I just do not think that phrasing fits." Michael paused for a few seconds, then leaned back into his seat. "You have a point. The temple is home to the saints and a sanctuary for the gods. I only mentioned it because there have been cases where a saint and her knight vanished together during a long journey." Duana gave a soft, dry laugh to herself. "So this crazy cult isn't worried about me running away on my own. They are afraid I will seduce this guy and elope. Do I really look like the type to fall for a mindless idiot?" She then feigned shock and cried out, "Knights and saints are children chosen by the gods. Allowing our hearts to entwine with romantic feelings would be an unforgivable sin against our calling." Michael rubbed his chin, looking thoughtful. I share that sentiment." Duana continued, "Betraying the divine will is something that can never be tolerated." Michael added, "They are like living war demons, so they must be hunted down and destroyed with the holy sword." Suana smiled, resting her chin on her hand. "Is that so?" Inside, she wondered if she would survive. She suddenly asked, "Looking back, you became a captain at such a young age. Did you always want to be a holy knight, even when you were little? Michael replied, as a child, my parents abandoned me at the temple gates. I was raised solely under the protection and grace of Moandala. Suana replied, exactly. My parents insisted I become a saint, so I came here. Hearing that, Michael went quiet for a moment, then spoke with a hint of genuine curiosity. Have you ever imagined a life where you were not a saint? Suana thought for a second. Well, I am satisfied with my life. Then she looked surprised. Wait, are you saying you are not happy with your current path, Master Michael? He answered instantly, not at all. I truly believe this is my divine calling in life. She smiled warmly. I feel the same way. Inside, she thought, what an admirable knight. Such unwavering faith. He only looks 5 or 6 years older than me. How is his faith so unshakable? Or is he just brainwashed? A few days later, we arrived at the port of Floriana. Michael led a group of alert knights forward. One of them was praying to Moandala with their hands pressed together. Interesting. Behind them, Suana looked around casually. Ah, the smell of the sea. Old Pao said this port was chaotic, but it is empty and eerily quiet. Suddenly, Michael called out, Saint Suana, can you feel the presence of the evil spirits lurking here too? She instantly steadied herself. Stay sharp. Do not blow your cover. Play the part. She calmly noted the thick aura of evil and asked if she should begin a purification prayer. Michael's voice dropped. Saint, can you not hear the screams of the spirits? It is loud enough to tear your ears apart. Suana closed her eyes in prayer. I only hear the gentle call of Moandala's voice. He pondered this. This is the village center. Summoning every evil spirit at once would be difficult, even with your power. Suana stepped forward calmly. Even so, Captain, I must do what I can. It is my duty and my purpose. Michael paused again at her words. He turned and said, Purification is vital, but do not put yourself in danger. Please, stay behind me. Suana replied respectfully, Yes, I understand perfectly. The other knights whispered praise for Suana. She felt quite satisfied that her performance as the saint was working well. Soon, Michael led her into a building. Once inside, the knights suddenly began coughing violently and uncontrollably. Suana felt a wave of suspicion. What is wrong with them? Are they just exhausted from the long trip? Michael then spoke up. Saint, you may begin the ritual as soon as the preparations are complete. Suana nodded. Yes, I am ready. As she knelt, she thought back to the carriage. He had been testing her the entire time. It seems he suspects that I cannot actually see those spirits at all. Fine, I will show him a grand exorcism. I will just mumble some random Bible verses and call it a day. As she chanted the scripture, Michael yelled, Hold your ground. Around them, the knights dropped to their knees. They screamed, Captain, if this keeps up and we see that thing. Michael raised his hand, instantly forming a dome shield over his men. But a second later, the dome shattered. Michael scowled as a dark, twisted shadow emerged right behind him. Sensing the raw malice, he immediately spun around to look. The evil spirit was already standing right beside him. Michael swung his sword, unleashing a wave of energy as he lunged past the spirit. His terrified knight screamed, but he turned and shouted, Fall back. Protect the Saintess. That is our top priority. Move. Just then, a warm, brilliant light flooded the entire room. Michael stared at Suana, completely stunned. On the other side, she stood with clenched hands, her body radiating a holy glow. As she finished her prayer, Moandala answered, My warrior, I am always with you. Suana stood up and walked toward Michael, speaking softly. Michael let out a small, startled gasp as she approached. He thought to himself, Suana is truly. She just smiled and said, The cleansing prayer is finished, Captain. He could only stare, thinking, a real saintess. With the job done, Suana boarded her carriage and headed back to the temple. On the way back, Michael kept riding right beside the carriage, which made Suana feel incredibly uncomfortable. Noticing Suana looked pale, Michael worriedly suggested, Let us take a break. You do not seem to be feeling very well. Suana replied, Yes, That would be good. Michael ordered the halt, and while the knights obeyed, Suana knew she was not tired, just pressured by his constant staring. The carriage slowly came to a halt. Suana opened the door and stepped outside. As soon as her foot touched the step, Michael was right there with a big, friendly smile. "Ground is wet," he warned. "Be careful not to slip." Suana reached out. "Thank you, sir." The captain was all smiles, but inside, she was grumbling about what a weird guy he was. He probably confirmed something about me during that cleansing ritual we just finished. She wondered if her half-hearted acting was convincing enough. She walked over to the edge of the woods to get some fresh air. At the same time, Michael was thinking that if his suspicions about Suana were correct, Suana stretched and wondered to herself, "I need to run away soon. Is there really no other way out?" Michael kept thinking she could become the next High Saintess with that pious aura. Her raw power might even surpass the great Saintess herself. He suddenly snapped out of it, wondering if he lacked discipline for having such wicked thoughts. After all, only the High Saintess is the true voice of Moendala. Suddenly, a piercing scream echoed through the air. "Help me, please help," Michael asked in shock. "What is it? Calm down. What happened?" A woman with messy hair cried out. "Behind you, she is a high-ranking Saintess, right? We desperately need her to pray for us." Michael tried to calm her down. "Stay quiet. To get a blessing, you must report to the temple and wait your turn." The woman screamed again, "But my child went out to play and never came home." When she looked up, a chill ran down the knight's spines. Michael stood frozen for a moment. He closed his eyes, took a breath, and then turned to her. "What do you think?" Suana calmly asked. "About what?" Michael pointed at the frantic woman. "We cannot afford to delay for long, but could we spare just a little time to help her?" Suana frowned, looking completely confused. "Captain Michael, what exactly have you and your knights been doing this whole time?" He stared blankly, "Huh?" and then quickly turned around. Seeing the empty space between his men, Michael gasped. "She is gone." He frantically yelled, "This is very bad. Saintess Suana, you have to run right now." From the darkness, a crazed voice suddenly called out, "Save me. Save me again. Do it again." Then, Michael was suddenly hoisted into the air by something invisible and tossed violently to the side. As soon as he hit the ground, a hand tightened around his throat. Michael struggled, gasping out, "No, stop." Suana screamed, "Let go. Michael, why are you choking yourself? Snap out of it." He grit his teeth. "I am choking myself? Is this spirit showing the Saintess an illusion?" Then, he was yanked into the air again. He thought angrily, "Damn it. I can't find the strength to move my own body. I just need to pry this hand off." Just then, his sword fell from his hip. Michael gasped, "The sword, Saintess, take the sword." Suana answered in a panic, "Yes." She rushed to pick up the blade, holding it out with both hands. Suana suddenly froze, calling out Michael's name. She wondered, what on earth is happening? Why is he doing this to himself? Is he possessed? Wait, isn't this my chance to escape? Thinking fast, she began to slowly back away. He is the one who has thrown himself onto the funeral pyre time and time again. I have absolutely no reason to save him, not even one single reason remains. Right then, a hand suddenly reached out from behind her. As Suana spun around in shock, Raphael finally spoke up to her. "Saintess, if you are going to hold a sword, you had better draw it." He pulled his blade with a whistle, slicing the invisible spirit in her vision right in half. Mai immediately coughed up a mouthful of black blood as his body collapsed heavily onto the hard ground. His eyes were shut tight as he fell unconscious. Suana finally snapped out of it. When she called out, Raphael turned back to look at her. After a few seconds, Michael let out a soft groan. Raphael didn't hesitate. He immediately slammed his boot into the man's chest. Michael groaned again, his face turning pale with obvious pain, yet he still would not wake up. Seeing this, Suana could not help but feel startled. "Did you kill them?" Raphael replied calmly, "No, they just passed out." Hearing those words, she finally let out a long sigh of relief. "What exactly is going on here?" Raphael asked with curiosity. "I heard you wander around performing these cleansing rituals, but is this really the first time you have seen this?" Suana nodded. Everything was happening way too fast. He let out a laugh. Really? Are you actually a Saintess? You can't do anything right, yet you're out here trying to perform exorcisms. As soon as he spoke, the scream of an evil spirit echoed from his hand. Raphael gripped his sword hilt, his face instantly turning serious and grim. Either way, do not let that uptight captain know I got involved in this. Do you understand? Suddenly, a thick wall of mist rose up, leaving Suana stunned. Wait, where did all this heavy fog come from so suddenly? Since she kept looking around, Raphael asked again. Hey, Suana, are you even listening to me? A second later, Suana collapsed to the ground and screamed. Ah, even Raphael was startled by that. He stammered out, Hey, Saintess, what are you doing? Are you actually scared of some mist? It is gone now. Are you possessed? In her panic, Suana trembled and cried out, I don't want to be here. Mother, father, please take me with you. It is too hot. Let me go. Save me and take me away. Seeing her clawing at the air in despair, Raphael froze for a moment. I get it now. Just let go. He said this while grabbing her tightly by the wrist. Suddenly, Suana's hand began to glow with a divine light. The entire area became so quiet that Raphael could hear a distant stream flowing nearby. He thought in wonder, It is so peaceful. I have repeated this life hundreds of times already, but I have never seen the world this quiet before. While he was lost in that rare peace, Suana suddenly cried out in pain. Raphael snapped back to reality. Instinctively, he let go of her. Suana was thrown backward, letting out a sharp cry of agony. Ah! Raphael stepped closer and asked coldly, Are you feeling better now? Suana crawled up and gritted her teeth. Yes, I am awake, thanks to you. After that, the air fell silent again. It took a long time before Raphael finally spoke up to break the quiet. I've heard of Baron reputation, but were you severely abused as a child? Suana replied without thinking, My parents aren't like that. Abuse? That is ridiculous. Raphael just stared at her in silence. Baron Huyn's daughter was locked in an attic without an education, and rumors say she was sold to the temple. He sighed sarcastically. You were just clinging to me, crying that it was too hot and begging to be let out. If it wasn't your parents, was it your precious temple? Suana denied remembering anything and suspected Raphael was possessed. He clicked his tongue. The only ones possessed were her teammates attacked by the spirit. Suana finally realized what was happening. Oh, the knights. Are they all right? Are they going to be okay? He shrugged and said, Who knows? Why not go see if they are still alive yourself? Suana rushed to the knights and shouted, Captain Severino, are you okay? Please wake up. Oh, Mandala. My God, I never expected you to be this completely helpless against an evil spirit like this. I beg you, if my prayers can truly reach the gods, please protect your faithful servant from this overwhelming and terrifying evil. Those who walk toward the light will be guided by the divine power of the heavens. Watching her pray, Raphael thought, I was wrong to expect anything. She is just like those other useless saintesses, clinging to meaningless scriptures. After praying for a while with no result, Suana turned her head and asked, Count, what should I do now? Raphael raised an eyebrow. What do you mean? They just fainted. Just wait for them to wake up. She hesitated, but he shouted, Enough. When the knights wake up, tell them you solved everything with your prayers. Suana asked him while trembling, but I did not do anything. Count Winters was clearly swinging his sword around just a moment ago. She waved her hands to demonstrate. Raphael growled, Just do as I say. He lifted her chin threateningly. If the temple contacts me about this, I will personally destroy you. Hearing that, Suana took a sharp breath of cold air. She hurriedly backed away from him in fear. Raphael fell silent, seeing her reaction. Suana sat huddled in a corner. After a long time, she peeked toward where he had been standing. Seeing no one, Suana breathed a sigh of relief. He's finally gone. I almost got swept up in that walking disaster. I thought if I acted like a fool, he would get bored and leave. And it worked. But honestly, what was he doing here anyway? His territory isn't even in this direction. No, stay back. Don't let curiosity pull you toward the male lead. Suana knew she couldn't get tangled up with Raphael. It would only drag out the story. She needed his end, so she could escape this novel. She just kept running, running blindly. Suana tripped over something heavy. It was Michael, just lying there. Her heart hammered against her ribs as she let out a panicked, strangled cry. Wait. Oh no. Then she delivered a sharp kick, yelling for him to move. After knocking him aside, she slumped down, her mind racing with dark thoughts. I have been thinking about this for a while. Honestly, shouldn't I be legally exempt for just getting rid of him? Do you have any idea how many times he has burned me? Inside her head, her inner angel gave a slow nod. Exactly. How can I be sure he won't drag me back to the stake for another execution in this life? Suana continued, that is exactly my point. But then another inner voice chimed in. But Michael hasn't done anything this time around. Right? She nodded. True. Wait, are you an angel too? Her own subconscious seemed to scream back at her. If you keep running until Michael wakes up, you are more than just a runaway Saintess. You will be a fugitive wanted for his attempted murder. Suana covered her ears. I know that. Her other side countered. But if we do not run now, we might never get another chance. Suana wondered if Raphael had finished off the demon yet. She started doubting her own sanity. Even her inner angels were starting to look dangerous. A low groan cut through the air. Suana froze. He was waking up way ahead of schedule. The visions vanished. She turned to leave him behind, but the brown-haired knight was already stirring. Ugh, my head, he muttered. Suana bit her lip as her escape plan crumbled completely. Her face went dark with frustration. The knight helped his friend up and shouted, Captain, Saintess, thank God you are both alive. She paused to think. Fine. It was time for Suana to get back into character again. I have been praying for the heavens to protect you both from this danger. Please, have mercy and save us. I offered my most sincere, heartfelt prayers to the great mandala. A holy light began to radiate from her body. The two knights dropped to their knees instantly. Saintess Suana, she cried out to the heavens just as Michael finally opened his eyes. The brown-haired knight thanked her for saving their lives. Suana gave a humble reply, though she was secretly annoyed. She wanted out. The knight spoke up. The captain is awake. Let's move out. The blue-haired knight stepped forward. Saintess, please, you must rest. Suana forced a sweet smile. Thank you. Nearby, Michael leaned against a cold rock, lost in thought. Finally, he looked up. Saintess, tell me what exactly happened back there. The back of my head is throbbing. Suana panicked, quickly lying that he had hit his head and suffered memory loss. Michael froze. His neck and his head? To stop his brain from working, she patted his shoulder. Captain Michael Severino, do not try to relive those agonizing, painful moments. She told him the pain was nothing compared to the joy of returning to their holy mission. Inside, she was just praying he had forgotten that she was the one who kicked him. Michael whispered her name gratefully. He stood up and bowed with deep respect, thanking her for risking everything to save him from the spirits. Suana shook her head. It was nothing. It is my duty. In that moment, she suddenly remembered exactly what Michael had said when their journey first began. The temple is a sacred home for the saintesses to serve the gods. I only mention this because there have been scandals cases where saintesses and knights vanished together during these long, isolated missions. A slow smirk spread across her lips. Oh, right. There is always that option. Suana tore a piece of her sleeve and handed it to Michael. Captain, take this. Wrap it around your neck. It will help the swelling go down much faster than anything else. Michael started to blush, stammering that he could do it himself. Suana just shook her head. But you are clearly injured. Are you not? You are only in this state because you were protecting me. Michael turned a deep shade of crimson. I get hurt in training all the time. This is nothing. Suddenly, Suana pressed her hand to his forehead. Oh my, Captain, you have a fever. Your face is absolutely burning up right now. Michael stared straight ahead, his eyes wide. He quickly turned his head away to hide how embarrassed he was. I am fine, Saintess. Thank you for your concern. I will handle the rest. Suana stepped back. She knew she shouldn't push him any further right now. This fanatic might actually think I am a witch and burn me. To stay safe, I need to make him be the one who confesses first. She took a few steps back and faked a stumble. Huh? Michael asked, clearly startled. Saintess, are you all right? What happened? Suana gasped. I think I sprained my ankle. He knelt down immediately. Let me see. She let out a small cry of pain as he reached for her foot. Does it hurt when I press here? Suana just whimpered in response. Michael tried again. How about right here? She let out another sharp cry. Ah, there too. After his examination, he pulled back. It looked like a really bad sprain to him. Saintess, if you keep this up, I cannot check the injury. Suana acted shy. But, Captain, I am embarrassed. My feet are bare. Oh. His face turned so red it looked like steam might literally come out of his ears. He stood up abruptly and shouted, I am so sorry. That sudden, impulsive movement created a rush of air that sent Suana's skirt fluttering upward. Michael froze. He immediately jammed 2 fingers into his own eyes and screamed at the top of his lungs. I saw nothing. Watching him walk away, Suana thought, stop fighting your instincts. Just say you want to run away with me. Let us escape this life together. I never imagined I would have to work so hard to seduce the man who burned me to death so many times. My situation is absolutely pathetic. If I am this exhausted after only 10 regressions, I can only imagine how frustrated and annoyed he must be feeling by now. Living a life where nothing you do brings hope for the future. Suana realized how hopeless life was, making her empathize with Raphael's decision to self-destruct. She let out a long sigh and whispered to herself, how truly pitiful. Suddenly, a voice rang out. Who exactly are you calling pitiful? Suana froze, looking up at the figure standing deep within the waters of the lake. When she didn't answer, Raphael called out to Saintess Suana once again. I didn't realize you enjoyed peeping on people while they bathe. After a moment of shock, she snapped, Hey, you 4 eyes, stay away from me. No, that chest, do not shove it in my face. Raphael raised an eyebrow, looking helpless. What about my eyes? Suddenly Suana tripped. She actually fell down, screaming in panic. Wait, She fell, crawled back up, and then fell another 3 times in a row. Raphael watched for a moment, completely speechless, before stepping onto the shore. Suana sat there, clutching her leg and muttering, It hurts. Faking an injury really backfired. Raphael put on his shirt, buttoning it up while asking, Why are you still hiding in the woods all by yourself? Suana bowed her head and replied, I was just out for a walk. Do not worry. Secretly, she breathed a sigh of relief. Everything seemed fine. Raphael suddenly reached out his hand and said slowly, Stop complaining and get up. The atmosphere between them suddenly became very quiet and still. Staring at the hand extended toward her, Suana's eyes were filled with deep suspicion. After a brief moment of waiting, Raphael suddenly sighed and grabbed her hand, pulling her up. Suana cried out in shock. She glared at him and said loudly, Hey, I can stand up on my own. Raphael spread his arms and asked helplessly, Are you taking your anger out on me? Did something not go your way? Suana closed her eyes guiltily. Humph. I have nothing to say to a pervert who bathes naked out in a lake. Raphael paused. Pervert. Ha. Do you really think you are the only one using every trick in the book to seduce a holy knight? Suana screamed in shock. What? No, I have never done anything like that. Raphael raised his eyebrow and questioned her. Can't you see them? Right now, right beside you, a bunch of ghosts are chirping away and telling me everything. Suana asked back in surprise. Ghosts? You can see them? She thought to herself that being able to constantly see ghosts like this was extremely rare. Raphael smirked and continued. I do not know what perverted things you did with that guy, but the ghosts are screaming that you seduced him. Is it really okay for a saintess to like a knight? Since you act so pious, I thought you would at least follow the rules. Suana's voice suddenly dropped. He didn't understand and asked, What? She yelled at the top of her lungs. Tell me what they are saying. What are the ghosts saying? Raphael asked in shock. Do you actually care about that person? Suana immediately pulled out her final trump card. If you do not tell me, I will spread rumors that you are a pervert who enjoys being naked outdoors. Something inside Raphael snapped. He rubbed his forehead and gave a dry laugh. I misjudged you. I never expected you to be such a crazy person. Seeing a glimmer of hope, Suana pressed on. Tell me, what are the ghosts beside me saying? Since you won't talk count, seeing ghosts is a secret, right? I won't tell anyone. Oh, and I'll keep the part about you being a pervert who likes exposing himself in public a secret too. So please, just tell me. After her persistent begging, Raphael finally admitted it was nothing special. Just smile and react naturally whenever your eyes meet his. That is all, Suana asked excitedly. What kind of smile? You mean like this? Seeing the smile on her face, Raphael suddenly froze. He pursed his lips and frowned, as if recalling some bad memories. Then he turned around and said, Whatever, practice yourself. I am leaving. Suana snorted. You are really mean. Raphael ignored her, walking silently deeper into the forest. She screamed after him, Fine, I am perfectly okay on my own anyway. Let us never see each other again. She breathed a sigh of relief after the encounter. She decided to follow the ghost's advice and smile seductively at Michael when she returned. Right then, his own voice rang out. What are you doing out here? I couldn't find you, so I have been searching for a long time. Suana covered her mouth and smiled shyly. Oh, sorry. I just came out for some fresh air. I saw the lake and wanted to take a closer look. Michael suddenly grew serious. Saintess Suana, have you forgotten that you are not allowed to walk alone outside the temple? She frowned, her voice tinged with anger. Just why is that? Because you think I am going to run away? I must be going crazy, trying to deceive this man just to escape. It is completely absurd, and I'm planning to do that with a monster who is just waiting to burn me alive. Suddenly, she yelled out, Captain, do you consider the Saintess to be a criminal? Why are you backing me into a corner like this? I can't even breathe. Michael remained perfectly calm and composed. I do not consider you a prisoner. I am protecting you, because it is very dangerous outside the temple. Suana let out a sarcastic laugh. Oh, really? If anything, I am in more danger from you, since you are always threatening to destroy me. Is it truly the will of God to label those seeking freedom as witches and then slaughter them? Where exactly in the Holy Scriptures is that written? Tell me. He replied, My orders are to purge evil. I am simply doing what must be done. Suana snapped, Wait, what? Who commanded this? Moandala or the high priestess? Michael's eyes turned cold as his hand gripped the hilt of Saint Suana's sword. You wandered out alone and let something bewitch you. Unlike before, it seems you have finally abandoned the gods. I knew it would end like this. Suana flinched. Damn it, I cannot believe I was stupid enough to show weakness in front of Michael. I let my anger get the best of me. Wait, why is he suddenly drawing his blade? Hold on, are we skipping the burning stake this time? Summary execution? If it has come to this, I have to try everything. Desperate, she cried out. Don't you understand why I crave freedom? Do you really have no idea what kind of life I dream of? Michael took a slow step toward her. Those cheap tricks won't work on me, Saint Suana. She bowed her head, her voice dropping to a whisper. The one testing me is you, Michael Severino. Michael froze. The air grew heavy. Suana exhaled a quiet breath of relief. Did that sudden, fake confession actually work on him? Just then, Michael rubbed his brow and sighed. Saint Suana. She replied, Yes? He looked away, his gaze suddenly uncertain. I will pretend I never heard those words. I am leaving now. Suana called after him. Wait, Captain. Hearing her, Michael walked even faster, almost like he was running away. Once he vanished into the trees, Suana finally exhaled. Well, I am safe for now, she thought grimly. I managed to distract Michael, but if I head back to the temple, he will definitely come for my head once he clears his mind. A memory from a past life flashed back. Michael drawing his blade, praying, Oh, Mon Nadala, forgive this sinner possessed by an evil spirit. Suana steeled her resolve. It has come to this. My performance as the gentle saint in this life is officially over. She bolted straight into the forest, right toward the area marked as a danger zone. Under the full moon, Suana stared at the cloth marker on the tree. Is this how possession feels? She gasped for breath, completely exhausted. How long have I been going in circles? Suana leaned against a tree and cursed. Damn it, I am thirsty and my feet are killing me. Suddenly, a noise echoed behind her. She froze, wondering what on earth that sound could be. Then, she realized it was a flowing stream. She rushed toward it, thinking, water always flows down. I am not getting burned alive again. If I follow the current, I can get off this mountain and go home. As she ran blindly toward the water, a childhood memory surfaced. Suana whispered, Mom, Dad, it must have been shortly after the adoption agency placed me with them. That day, while playing in the park, another child had suddenly tripped and fallen right next to her. She looked around before helping the little girl up. A voice praised her. Helping someone you just met, you really are a special child. Our Dahi is such a good girl. Back then, she had simply replied, anyone would have done the same thing, Mother. Being called a good girl always made her happy. After all, that was the reason she finally had a family. The orphanage teacher had introduced her to a couple that day. Dahi is the most mature and well-behaved child we have here. They both smiled. So, you are Dahi. It is nice to meet you. Dahi, would you like to come live with us? She had answered timidly, but I am already 6 years old. Other adults told her she had already missed the chance for adoption. They paused, then spoke softly. If we had our own child, they would be your age. Being 6 is actually perfect. Dahi. She stammered, so can I really be your daughter? Without hesitation, they both reached out and took her hands. Do you really want to? Good girl. Thank you for becoming our daughter. From now on, will you call us Mom and Dad? Mom and Dad. Those happy days flew by. But then, one afternoon, she accidentally walked past her parents' bedroom door. The woman held a pregnancy test. They hugged, whispering, the three of us, we will finally be a real family. Hearing that, her world went cold. 3 people? Then what about me? What am I? Suddenly, Suana slammed right into the tree she had marked. She fell backward, shaking her head to clear the fog. After a moment, she hissed through her teeth. That felt so real. Was it a hallucination? Ouch. Then, she saw the tree. Wait, hold on. Why am I back at this same tree again? I was definitely following the sound of the stream. Suddenly, the world went dark. A shadow appeared right before Suana, laughing and whispering. Sweetheart, sweetheart, are you really trying to leave us behind now? She bolted in pure terror. I have traveled everywhere in my role as a holy saint, but I have never seen a ghost, let alone heard one. In her panic, Suana tripped and slammed face first into the dirt. Gasping for breath, she scrambled up, only to hear that voice again. She clamped her hands over her ears. She thought furiously, go away, you damn ghost. Just vanish. Right then, Raphael's voice cut through. Get lost if you do not want to die. Oh wait, I forgot you are already dead, right? Suana stood up, stunned. This rude tone, while she looked around, Raphael spoke again. So what? What is it to me? Get lost. Your swollen face makes me sick to my stomach. Suana let out a soft cry. Hearing the sound, he turned his head to look at her. Suana rushed over, sobbing like a child, crying out Raphael Winters' name. He broke a sweat and shouted, What now? Are you still here? Suana grabbed his hand. Right then, a spark of light appeared between their palms. Raphael froze at the sight of the glow. Deep down, he felt a peace he had not known in ages. Suana pleaded desperately. Count, help me. You were just talking to a ghost, weren't you? Some creep is stalking me, making these weird gurgling noises. Suana blinked her eyes, snapping out of it like waking from a dream. She pulled her hand back. Count Raphael Winters suddenly reached out and grabbed it again. Wait, stay still, let me think. Suddenly, a breeze blew past. He looked up and whispered to himself. The wind is blowing. I smell grass. Suana hesitated. Well, that is because we are in the woods. After a few seconds, Raphael muttered 3 words. It is so quiet. Suana stood frozen. Yes, she wondered. Was he really talking to a spirit? Just then, Raphael snapped back. He frowned and asked, Who are you? Suana thought for a moment. The Saintess. He glared immediately. Do you think that is what I asked? How should I answer then? I am sorry for grabbing you, but can we talk after you let go? Raphael wondered. This strange, silent world was unusually quiet, yet it felt both holy and beautiful. Is that why everything looks so bright? He leaned in and repeated his question. Who are you? Really? Suana shook her head. I do not understand. Suddenly, Michael's angry voice boomed. What is going on here? He walked toward them with a dark expression. Suana panicked. Great! I am caught, she thought, trying to explain. The captain of the knights did not wait. Michael narrowed his eyes at Saintess Suana. Desertion is a serious crime, especially meeting outsiders. Suana trembled. This is just a coincidence. Michael turned to Raphael. Count Winters, let go of the Saintess this instant. He sneered. If I let her go, you will just drag her back and burn her as a witch, right? Suana whispered. Why provoke him? Michael drew his sword. Count, if you do not release her, I will execute you. That goes for the Saintess too, for deserting her post just to meet with you. Besides, she is hardly a Saintess anymore. Raphael laughed. So you plan to kill everyone. Interesting. How cruel. I guess the Monadala temple was built on a mountain of corpses. Michael gritted his teeth. You dare insult the gods? He swung his blade, but Raphael blocked it with ease. Suana hid behind him and screamed. Count, can you not put me down before you start fighting? Raphael smirked and stepped back, then delivered a sharp kick to Michael's chest, sending him flying backward. Raphael spoke up. Look, Suana, killing this uptight guy here will only lead to more trouble later on. She asked why. He shrugged. Fanatics would hunt us down for killing their captain. Do you not think? She nodded. That is true. Michael yelled. It seems both of you have been consumed by demons. Suana sighed. What now? Is there any way to fix this mess we are in? Raphael said, I cannot let him take you. You are afraid of fire, right? Suana jumped. Me? Is he talking to me? Michael charged again. Raphael blocked the blow while muttering. Maybe it is better to just start over. Suana missed it. What? What did you say? Raphael shoved her back. There will be a next time, so do not fear. Suana blinked. Next time? In that moment, Raphael darted past Michael toward the edge of the cliff. He jumped into the abyss, smiling. See you again. The Saintess screamed his name. Raphael. No. In a flash, she was back in her room. Iroh repeated the same old line. It is your turn to clean today. Suana sat up. Oh, I see how it is. Seeing no reaction, Iroh pulled her arm. Are you even listening? Suana realized she was alive. She was back at this exact moment. Were there no complicated rules or conditions? She did not answer, so Iroh yelled. What is wrong? Faking sick to get out of cleaning again? Raphael Winters. If the hero dies, I get pulled back in time with him like some package deal. She said, Sorry, Iroh. Emergency. She ran out, thinking as she dashed down the hall. That was the longest I ever survived. Seeing her running down the street in pajamas, the apprentice saints whispered about her lack of modesty. Suana ignored them, her mind filled with rage. Raphael, that bastard, deserves to be torn apart. At the Grand Knight's training grounds, Suana ran inside and called out, Sir Malik. A curious knight pointed her out to him. Malik looked over and just shook his head. Suana didn't care about the gossip. She just grabbed his hand and dragged him outside. Sir Knight, over here. Malik let out a gasp. Saintess? Once they were outside, she shoved him against a wall. Malik was completely stunned. What? Sir Malik, I love you. Let's run away together. Malik was paralyzed. What? What did you just say to me? If he hadn't gotten lost in the mountains, Raphael wouldn't have thrown his life away like that. What is this about starting over? Don't be surprised next time. He really seems to think I'm the type of bored Saintess who would happily travel through time with him. But I have to get home to my parents. They must be so worried about me. They must be worried sick. I'm certain of it. This was before the mark of the High Saintess was etched onto my hand back when I was just a low-rank Saintess. My plan to seduce a gullible knight and run away worked perfectly. We escaped over a month ago and still haven't been caught. Once we dock, I'll dump Malik and hide until the story is over. The plan was perfect, but Suana was starting to feel annoyed. Man, this guy talks a lot. Malik cried out. Please. Suana was stunned. What? What was that? He smiled and said he wanted to know everything about his future wife. Tell me everything. She giggled behind her hand. There isn't much to tell, really. She knew nothing of the real Suana's life beyond a few rumors, so she tried to avoid the subject. But Malik just kept staring at her. If I didn't speak, he'd stare at me forever. I'll have to lie. I was once very lonely. I used to imagine being a princess in a tower, waiting for a brave knight to save me. She laughed. I used to hope the parents who abandoned me would finally return for me. You mean the Baron H.W. family? The ones who left you at the temple? She nodded, uneasy. Yes, them. Suddenly, an explosion rocked the right side of the ship. The crew panicked. What's happening? A warship is firing its cannons at our boat. It missed and hit the water. Suana sighed. Things were going way too smoothly. Malik held her close. Pirates? Then, a familiar voice echoed across the open waves. Suana. She turned around instantly. That hateful voice. Could it be him? A moment later, the two ships pulled alongside each other. Raphael boarded the ship and shouted, Show yourself, Suana. Hand her over and I'll leave now. Suana frowned. Shouldn't he be at his big inauguration ceremony right now? The passengers whispered. Is that Baron Winters? The legendary war hero? Raphael stepped toward the captain. Are you the captain? Give me the young girl with long silver-purple hair. Hand her over and I will leave right now. In the hay, Malik whispered. Suana, is he looking for you? Shush if you want to live. Raphael shouted. I know you're hiding there. Come out now. You know I can sense your exact location. Suana looked into the empty air, gritting her teeth in anger. Are you guys snitching on me? You cowards. Malik was terrified. My dear, who are you talking to? She froze. I don't even know. Stay here. Don't move. She stood up. Raphael reached his hand out to her. Come here. You couldn't wait a few days? The captain quickly stepped forward. Baron, she said she was traveling with her husband. Raphael smirked. Husband? Don't make me laugh. Malik suddenly rushed forward to claim his place. I'm not joking. We love each other, and I'll never give her to you. Suana winced. This is too much. The crowd whispered. I've heard nobles like to steal other men's wives, but it looks like she boarded this ship just to get away from him. Raphael let out a heavy sigh. Enough acting. Do you really expect me to believe a Saintess and a knight ran away to get married? The mood shifted. Traitors to God on our ship? Suana turned pale. I told you to stay put. Why did you come out? Malik stammered. Please, listen to us. The mob yelled. Throw them overboard immediately. A group of men quickly pinned Malik down. He screamed, Wait! Stop! Release her! Suana, the Saintess, was grabbed by several thugs too. Stop, it hurts. Hearing her cry, Malik struggled wildly. Wait, Suana. As he screamed, she froze. Were they really going to throw him overboard? Was it because I ran? Would they kill everyone around me just like that? Simply because I chose them? Raphael stepped forward. I am taking her. Stop being stubborn. Suana snapped back. I am not crazy. I will never follow you. Raphael let out a cold laugh. Where do you think you can go? Then he watched her climb the railing, stunned. Wait, damn it! Before Raphael could reach her, Suana vanished into the waves. He turned and roared at the crew. What are you doing? Drop the sails. Stop this ship and save her. A sailor shrugged. Why save a saint who betrayed the gods to die? Raphael hissed through gritted teeth. Damn you. He stripped off his coat and dove straight in. Through the white foam, Raphael saw ghostly arms reaching from the depths. He pushed past them, searching frantically, until he finally spotted Suana's shadow drifting nearby. Raphael grabbed her and broke the surface. Suana, Saintess, answer me. Open your eyes. Breathe. Seeing her lack of reaction, he cursed loudly. If this Saintess died now, his life would be no different from all the failed attempts he had endured before. I will have to start over. Raphael let himself sink into the ocean. It was fine. Next time, I will be more careful. Ending this dull existence yet again. A life I have repeated so many times I have lost count. I returned to an unknown point in the past. Through the rain, a man picked up a wooden box. What is this? Still, it had been a very long time since I landed back at this specific moment. Looking at the bloody marks carved into my arms, the man cried out, "How could they be so cruel to a newborn baby?" Raphael, is that your name? Will you come home with me? I went back quite far this time. This man, Ethan Winters, struggled to keep his blacksmith shop afloat in total poverty. When he brought Raphael home, his wife screamed, "If you want to keep him, raise him yourself. I will not lay a single finger on that child." The woman glaring at me with such hatred was his wife, Maria. She neglected and tormented me whenever the man was away from home. But for someone like me, who has endured far worse things, this hardly even felt like suffering. But my calm expression terrified her. "You do not cry or smile. You are disgusting." While killing time through a boring childhood, the day finally arrived. I told him seriously, "Please, do not drink today." Ethan looked at me, surprised. "Raphael, what are you talking about? You are going to fall and ruin your leg." Even Ethan, the man who saved me, would never listen to a mere child, so that accident just kept repeating every single time. But I did not give up. I kept trying. Finally, I tried a different approach. "Please, go out today, but do not come home." Ethan, now missing a leg, frowned. Why, I did not answer, only adding, "Just do not sleep on the street." Ethan remained silent, saying nothing at all. In a previous life, bandits beat him to death in the street. If I suggested this, he would at least check into an inn. Then Maria screamed, "Hey, Raphael, why is this not clean yet?" I watched Ethan walk away. From here on, I will handle things myself. The next day, crows circled the wooden house. When Ethan returned, he gasped. The home was a total ruin. No. Digging through the debris, he wailed, "Maria, the children." Then, he saw me limping back with a heavy stick. Bandits attacked. I thought a sneak attack would work, but my young body was just too weak. I could not do it alone. Ethan suddenly lunged at me. You knew this would happen? That is why you told me to leave? Why only save me? Why are you the only survivor? You are a demon. I should have killed you long ago. If only I had listened to Maria." While he was screaming, he suddenly slipped and fell backward. His head slammed directly against a sharp edge in the debris. Blood pooled around him. His life was over. Raphael spoke calmly, "I am sorry, Ethan Winters. I met a strange Saintess and thought things might be different this time. But I never expected you to die from a fall like that. Next time I return to this moment, I will try something else. These resets are rare, so I am not bored yet. Rest for a while. I have a lot to prepare for in this new life." Years later at the HW estate, a servant asked who I was. I smiled. "Raphael Winters, captain under Marquis Hoover Baker. Sorry for the intrusion, but may I see the Baron?" She ducked inside. "Please, wait a moment." Soon, shouting erupted from within. "Master, mistress, the Marquis's captain is here." What? I never borrowed money from the Marquis. Does he look like a debt collector? No, he is a sharp-dressed gentleman, and very handsome at that. Really? Listen, did you hide our daughters yet? Who should we send out to greet him? Except for the one you threw in the temple because you suspected she was an affair baby, the rest are all married off. Hearing those words, Raphael let out a heavy sigh as the bickering inside continued on. Wait, what? You said you got pregnant after I returned from my business trip. Stupid, can't you count? I told you a dozen times, it was before you even left. Raphael pulled the door open and stepped inside. In the heavy silence, he smiled. Baron Frank, it is a pleasure to meet you. I am Raphael Winters. The man stammered, Oh yes, I am Baron Frank. A pleasure. And this is my wife. Chudy. She let out a fake, nervous laugh. Nice to meet you. Frank quickly changed the subject. You serve under the Marquis, right? What brings you here today? Raphael spoke calmly. You have a daughter you abandoned at the temple instead of marrying off. I want your permission to wed her. Frank gasped in total shock. What? What on earth are you talking about? He replied, it is nearly impossible for someone destined to be a saintess to leave the temple through normal means. However, I heard a family showing enough sincerity can cancel it. Seeing the chest of gold he presented, both Frank and Chudy froze. Oh well, cough. This is nowhere near enough to take away the daughter we worked so hard to raise. Raphael unpinned the badge from his chest. I have plenty more than this. Take it, father, Frank shouted, clearly overwhelmed. Oh, you are so thoughtful. Our daughter will be so happy. I will go get her right now. Just you wait, Chudy whispered while clutching the jewels. How much is this hoard even worth? Raphael suddenly recalled Suana's words. My parents are not those kinds of people. Abuse? That is ridiculous. So naive. You really do have a side that is just plain, stupidly stubborn. Then he said, fine, I will wait for your news. Before long, Suana was released and brought straight to Raphael's mansion. Chudy said, when you go inside, act polite and humble. She obediently replied, yes, but inside, she was lost. What is going on here? Nothing like this had ever happened. A few days ago, while Suana was sweeping the temple, Chudy suddenly burst into the room. My beautiful daughter, I am here to take you home. It was so sudden, all she could ask was, who are you? Suana figured this was the first time meeting her parents. They were allowed inside, so it seemed real. But who was this man proposing? Thank you so much for getting me out of that absolute nightmare of a cult den. Once inside, Chudy called out naturally, Sir Knight, have you been waiting long? But when Suana spotted Raphael, the gratitude in her heart died instantly. What? She screamed, eyes wide. You crazy stalker. Frank slammed the table. How dare you speak to the knight captain in that tone? Suana turned and ran. Forget it. Do not look for me again. Chudy stammered, trying to call her back. Frank panicked over the rude brat. Raphael stood up and said, please, wait a moment. By the time Suana reached the gate, she was cursing internally. You freak. Are you actually out of your mind? Why are you following me? Go finish the novel on your own. But suddenly, Raphael appeared right next to her. It is best if you don't waste your energy. Suana gasped. How is he so fast? A second later, Raphael swept her up. After a brief shock, she yelled, let me go, you bastard. He replied calmly, I will put you down if you promise to behave. Frank watched in shock as Raphael carried Suana like luggage. She fought back. Are you crazy? Raphael answered, I will handle the wedding arrangements myself. Do not worry about a thing. Frank spoke up. Listen, Mr. Winters, if you just kidnap your fiancée like this, what happens to our family reputation? Raphael's expression turned ice cold. I didn't think you people cared about reputation. Compared to monsters who lock up a child and throw her away, I'll ensure she is much happier. So, from this moment on, stay out of my wife's business. Inside the house, Suana frowned and questioned him. Tell me, why are you so determined to marry me anyway? It seems like you have been planning this for a long time. Raphael glanced over. If I tell you, will you stop trying to escape? She nodded. Fine, I am listening. Let's see just how grand this reason of yours really is. The room suddenly went so quiet that Suana started to feel incredibly suspicious. Raphael finally spoke those 3 words. I need you. Even if I have to survive this damn loop 10 more times, I still want you beside me. Suana turned pale. You are insane. Raphael laughed. Not pretending to be shy anymore? Yes, you are right. I am a complete madman. If you want to die, go ahead, because I will chase you until the very end. Suana replied seriously, I want nothing to do with you. I have absolutely zero intention of ever living my life with you. Raphael let out a cold laugh. Are you really in love with that stupid holy knight? Suana frowned. Don't you dare talk about someone who died at sea because of you. I had my suspicions, but you really are total trash. Raphael smirked. Coming from a heartbreaker like you? That's rich. You're not just a coward. You're a fool. A pathetic, brainless little coward. Who is the third wheel going to be? Suana sneered. It is not you, so do not worry about it. Why ask? Raphael shrugged. Why would I not worry? No matter who you run to, I will kill them all and drag you back. She glared, whispering to herself, absolute psycho killer. But he is right. Even if I died to escape this, I would probably just end up right back at the start. She sighed and said, fine, let us handle this one thing at a time. My dear future groom, why do you need me? Does being near me purify those evil spirits? As Suana spoke, she realized something. Raphael was not going to kill her. At least, not yet. He spoke slowly. Evil spirits cannot be purified, only sealed away. Suana paused, repeating the words. Sealed away? Raphael nodded. If I strike them down, I can trap them inside the edge of my blade. That is why my sword always reeks of decay and echoes with the screams of the cursed. Suana felt a spark of curiosity. Do they actually talk to you? Raphael's jaw tightened. All they want is to kill. And it is not just the ones trapped in my steel. They are everywhere. Even if I die like they want, I just come back. Over and over. A cursed existence, being a plaything for these demonic spirits forever. You cannot hear them, so you do not understand. Right now, they are surrounding us, closing in. They are screaming that they will kill everyone. Startled, Suana called out his name. Raphael. She grabbed his hand, and the world around Raphael suddenly went dead silent. She whispered, are you okay? Just stay calm. Take a deep breath. Raphael slowly caught his breath. He shut his eyes, then opened them again. When you touch me, everything vanishes. The visions, the voices, it all just stops. The world gets so quiet it feels fake. It makes my entire life of fighting feel completely pointless. He trailed off, suddenly remembering the insults thrown at him from a long time ago. Get away, he is hideous. Just looking at him makes me sick. They say he screams at nothing, what a monster. Suana hesitated, seeing his pain. Are you really okay? Is holding my hand not enough? Should we try bare feet next? Raphael threw his hands up in surrender. Enough, let go. Suana sighed. I am actually worried about you. But do I really have some power? No one at the temple ever mentioned it. Raphael looked curious. Have you held their hands before? Suana nodded. Yeah, of course. Lord Michael even went with me on that trip. He pressed further. Did he say anything? She hummed. Well, thinking back to when I faked that purification ritual, his reaction was definitely a little weird. Raphael took the chance to ask about Molly. What about that dumb night you supposedly ran away with for love? Surely you two held hands at some point. Suana gave him a look of pure disgust. Wow, you know what? You sound like a petty, jealous brat. It is gross. Raphael snapped back. I am just curious about your special ability. Suana stayed quiet for a moment before changing the subject. Are there any spirits that are not dangerous? Raphael looked at her like she was an idiot. There is no such thing as a good ghost. Suana smiled. But you never know, right? Maybe we could pit them against each other and banish one. Suddenly, a plate on the shelf twitched. It flew into the air and smashed straight onto the floor. Suana jumped. Oh my God, what was that? Please do not tell me this place is haunted by ghosts. Raphael remained calm. It is a regular occurrence. In this house, things are always breaking. You really think a nice spirit would do something like that? Suana started shaking with rage. Raphael thought she was terrified. He figured anyone would be scared out of their mind after seeing that happen. Then Suana screamed, Hey, are you going to clean this up? You do not pay rent. So what do you think you are doing? You want me to get aggressive with an exorcism? Jokes have limits. What if someone gets hurt? Ghosts make a mess and I have to clean it? While Raphael stood there stunned by her outburst, a red-headed ghost named Helen asked a question. So, who is cleaning this up? A male spirit named Enzo replied. Whoever broke it cleans it up. The whole group turned their eyes toward a kid named Chloe. He stomped his feet and yelled, I am not doing it. It is not fair. Everyone helped smash stuff. Why am I the only one cleaning? Raphael could not help but let out a small snort. Suana had no idea what was actually going on around him. She asked, What? Why are you laughing? I am being serious here. Raphael replied, No, it is just I have never seen them act like this before. They used to just be dark shadows. Today is the first time I can actually see their faces. Suana looked where he was staring, surprised. Oh, are they over there? In the corner? Malpon asked. Hey, what is wrong with that person? They are scary. Helen snapped at the clingy ghost. Stop being a coward. You can tell she is dirt poor just by looking at her. Lucy wondered, what has money got to do with anything? If we do not listen, I think she might actually exorcise us. Nearby, an old lady named Ket called out, Chloe, it is dangerous. Come here. The boy burst into tears, crying for his grandma. Enzo growled, Old lady, stop spoiling him. Tell him to get over here and clean. Thomas shouted, Come on. Enzo, did you forget? You do not mess with kids or the elderly. The grandmother asked where the broom was. On the floor, Maxian sighed. Cake. I want some cake. Suddenly, a stomach growled loudly. Everyone, including Raphael, stared at the old man. Mai blinked and said, What? It wasn't me. Okay? Suana suddenly blushed. She shyly added, I haven't eaten anything since leaving the temple. Raphael stood up immediately. Well, let's grab some food before it gets dark then. My future bride. Suana looked back, face still flushed. Yes, that sounds good. Count Winters. The two of them left just like that. The ghosts watched them through the window. The little ghost chuckled. Someone scary is coming. Thomas nodded. Exactly right. Out on the street, Suana asked curiously, Is everyone avoiding us? She remembered the rejections every time they tried to enter a diner. Sorry, we're all full and we're out of ingredients too. At this point, she couldn't help but raise her voice. How is it even possible that we can't get into a single restaurant? Wait, is it because I still look like a temple priestess? Raphael gave a slight shake of his head. It's because of me. Since this is before I was honored as a war hero, people think I'm just a crazy person talking to myself. There are even rumors that I'm haunted. Suana picked her ear and answered indifferently, Is that so? You're more famous than I thought. Raphael looked at her, jumping to conclusions. He figured she was annoyed by his bad luck like everyone else. Suana gritted her teeth, hungry. They kept walking until evening before they finally found food. She sighed with relief, thankful that street vendor was willing to sell them a meal. This is edible. Behind them, Chloe whispered because she couldn't hear. Can't we get any closer? Mon stopped her. No way. If she finds us, she'll destroy us. Behind the two of them, Enzo raised an eyebrow. Hey kid, behave yourself. I promise to get you back safely. Got it? Chloe clicked her tongue in annoyance. Ch, old man. He immediately shouted back. What did you say? Old man? You little brat. Chloe cried out after being smacked. Enzo continued. You want me to send you to the afterlife right now? The boy screamed loudly. Ah, don't hit me. At that moment, Lucy called Mon over for a private talk, leaving him feeling awkward and confused. Over there, the two were still walking through the streets. Raphael said he only ever returned after dying. Suana popped the last bite of bread into her mouth. I know, like that time you fell off the cliff. I came back with you too. She gritted her teeth, recalling how things were reset while everything was going well, all because of someone. Raphael apologized guiltily. She forced a smile and said, It's fine. It's over. Then she wondered, what if I die first? Would time stop, leaving only Raphael able to move? He replied quickly. Time keeps moving, even if you die at least until I die myself. Suana brushed her hair back and answered awkwardly, I see. Inside, though, she was still curious. What if Raphael doesn't die? Between the day I was first burned alive and all those times I've returned, my life could end at any second. Time for a new plan. I absolutely cannot die before he does. Then she acted submissive. Count, if I've done anything to upset you, I'm sorry, okay? I sincerely apologize. This left Raphael completely bewildered and confused. Suana froze. Oh, that's right, he isn't even a count yet. Just then, Raphael noticed how deserted the surroundings were. He frowned and said, It's late. Let's head back. Suana nodded. Sure, sounds good. Right then, something suddenly yanked her backward. Raphael cried out in shock, "Priestess!" Suana screamed in a panic. No, he desperately chased after her. Once they were inside the house, Suana was let go. She rubbed her backside. "I didn't come in here on purpose. Ouch, my butt hurts." Raphael spoke seriously. "It's an evil spirit. Stay still." Suddenly, the house door slammed shut. Suana paled and shouted, "Are we trapped?" Raphael told her in a low voice to wait there. "Damn it, it's sealed tight." Then, Lucy's voice whispered, "Want to get out? If you want to leave this place, you two have to kiss." Raphael's face went blank. The ghosts outside were also startled, watching the scene with cold sweats. It took a moment for Raphael to react. "Hey, you're one of the spirits from my house. Stop talking nonsense." Lucy frowned and said, "My sister stole my fiancé right before my wedding. My family was very strict, so I hadn't even held his hand before we were supposed to get married." He was speechless. "So you're bitter because of that? But what does it have to do with me?" "Move aside." Lucy lowered her voice. "Seeing the two of you together just reminds me of how I used to be. I just want to see how a relationship like that would have turned out. So kiss. I'm not leaving until I'm satisfied." Raphael snapped, "You're crazy." Suddenly, a pair of tiny hands wrapped tightly around his body. Chloe playfully shouted, "Kiss." Raphael yelled back in frustration, "What the hell? Let go." Suana asked, "Raphael, what are you doing? What are they saying?" Chloe kept clinging to him, shouting "kiss" over and over. Raphael snapped back angrily, "Damn it. How are they so strong?" Just then, a pair of hands shoved Suana from behind. Startled, she let out a loud cry. Momentum sent Suana stumbling forward into Raphael's arms. In his mind, the ghost's voices kept echoing, telling them to kiss, over and over. Even though she couldn't hear the cheering, Suana's face turned bright red. She stared at Raphael in a daze for a long moment. Then, she quickly backed away, stammering, "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to." Raphael's face turned red too. "Damn it, I must have been possessed by that freaking ghost. There is no other explanation." He grabbed Suana's shoulders. "Just hang on. This is the quickest way out. Do not overthink it for even a second." Suana gasped and asked, "What are you doing?" Raphael bit his lip, unable to believe he was actually doing this. Seeing his lips getting closer, Suana panicked. "Huh? Yes? What? What?" She screamed silently to herself. Almost the moment their lips touched, the door burst open. As she was thrown out, Suana said in shock, "Oh, we really did escape fast. Just as I expected. It was all part of the plan. I knew it. Haha." Suddenly, a commotion broke out nearby. "What are you two doing in front of the kids?" Enzo scolded Mopon for helping Lucy with her scheme. Mopon trembled and cried out. "Lucy said she would kill me if I did not help." Enzo kept yelling. Chloe huddled up and whimpered, "A kiss." Meanwhile, Raphael coldly warned he would destroy them if they did not leave. Enzo shouldered Lucy and dragged the two idiots away quickly. Suana could not help her curiosity. "So what was that all about anyway?" Raphael answered, "You do not need to know." Suddenly a voice spoke up. "Excuse me, you two just came out of that haunted house, right? And you are both completely unharmed too." Suana tried to explain. "Oh, that," but before she could finish, Raphael pulled her away. "Come here, let us go. Do not get involved in this mess." Seeing that, the old woman suddenly knelt down. "Please, can you help this old lady? I will pay you handsomely for your trouble. Please, just this once." Soon after, Raphael and Suana followed her. He said coldly, "Hey, old lady, I am only following because you asked. Do not expect much." The old woman stammered, "Yes." From behind, Suana whispered, "Do you see anything like an evil spirit or a ghost near her?" Raphael shook his head. "No, not at all." After walking a bit longer, the old woman suddenly pointed, "It is over here. I am old, so I put the house up for sale to move in with my son and daughter-in-law, but no one can enter it. Anyone besides me, even if they just touch the gate, they will be injured or thrown back violently, as if pulled by some force. Having said that, the old woman asked hopefully, "Do you see anything?" Suana frowned and looked around. Um, hmm. Later she asked, "Old lady, did you keep a dog here?" The old woman did not answer. Raphael suddenly asked, "Your dog died, didn't it?" She bowed her head and whispered, "Yes. I had not even done anything for him before he passed away." Suana cried out apologetically, "I am sorry." Raphael shook his head and sighed. "Anyway, the house itself is not haunted. Otherwise, the old lady would not be safe." "All right, let us go." The old woman cried out hurriedly. "Wait. What? Wait, please wait a moment. If possible, please look a little longer." As soon as the old lady knelt down, Raphael heard a growl. He looked over in shock. Something suddenly shot through the air, scratching a few bloody marks onto his hand. Raphael quickly shouted, "Both of you, get behind me." At the same time, he heard a voice. "Hee hee, look who is here. This is truly hilarious. Look at that." Just eyes darting around nervously. Raphael grit his teeth and thought, "Damn it, where is it?" Before his eyes, the ground where he stood collapsed, and Raphael fell into the void. Screams of evil spirits echoed in his ears, telling him to go die. Raphael thought frantically, "Kill me, they will kill me. No, please kill me, just kill me already." Suana shouted hurriedly, "Raphael, wake up, I am holding your hand. You will be okay soon. So do not die, Raphael." Raphael Winters. She thought anxiously, "It is happening again, watching someone die right in front of me. I do not want to see that anymore." Then Raphael regained his composure. He asked in surprise, "What happened?" Suana breathed a sigh of relief. "Do you feel better? You suddenly fell down and had a seizure. I was worried to death." Raphael glanced at her hand, where a soft light was glowing. He closed his eyes and said, "I can breathe now. I feel like I can go on living if she stays by my side." After a few seconds of silence, Suana cleared her throat. "I am sorry, your hand is hurt. It needs treatment right away." Raphael raised his hand. Looking at the bite marks, he said, "It seems your dog is guarding this place." The old woman gasped, "What? My Topi? Wait, tell me, can you really see my little Topi?" Raphael glanced to the side and said, "There are small ears twitching." He asked, "A big white dog. He has a limp in his back left leg, right?" The old woman cried emotionally, "Topi, if you have already left this world, then you should be at peace. Why are you still hanging around here? Is it because your leg hurts so you cannot leave? I should have been the one carrying you, Topi. Forgive me, Topi. This useless old woman could not even hold you." Seeing her sobbing alone, Suana's eyes turned red with tears. Then she sat down and said, "Oh, you lovely Topi, why are you so good and cute? Good boy, come here." Raphael asked confusedly, "What are you doing?" Suana turned her head. "Stop teasing. Let me see if he will come to me. That way the old lady will finally know where he is." He held out his hand covered in painful bites and scratches. "You see the wounds it caused me, right? It seems wary of anyone who is not that old lady, so it will never come near you." As the words left my mouth, a dog barked. Rough. To repel shock, Topi suddenly lunged straight into Suana's arms. She gasped, completely stunned. A second later, her body went limp and she collapsed, losing consciousness. Rappel finally snapped out of it. "Damn it, Suana, what just happened? Hey, open your eyes. Are you okay?" When Suana woke, she ran to the old woman, crying out, "Grandma, Grandma, play with me. Do your knees hurt, right? So you won't play?" The woman asked, confused. "What?" Suana continued. "Topi saw everything. You know, if you just lie there crying about the pain, you won't get better. You need to eat and move more." The old woman froze. "Topi? Is it really you?" From inside Suana's body, Topi let out a bark. "Yes." Staring in disbelief, tears began to stream down her face. "Topi, thank you for always being there for me. I will stay healthy, so you go on ahead. When I get there, we will play all day. I am sorry and thank you." Through Suana, he replied, "Hey, Grandma, Topi is fine. Take your time. I am good at waiting." I love you. Soon, Suana's own soul finally returned. Finding her head resting on Raphael's lap, she jolted upright and let out a startled cry. Huh? He calmly said, You woke up sooner than expected. How are you? Suana sat up, blushing. I am fine. Just tired. Raho sighed. Weird things always happened around her. Suddenly, his expression turned serious as he looked away. Turning his head awkwardly, he admitted, I was worried about her. Thanks to you, I said a final goodbye to Topi. Thank you so much, he added. Suana replied, It was nothing. I am sure he passed on peacefully. The old woman smiled. How can I ever repay this kindness? Seeing this, Raphael finally felt a sense of relief. So she was possessed. Is Suana's ability more than just warding off restless spirits? On the way back, Raphael kept asking, Can you move your limbs? How does your body feel inside? This never happened before. Why did it turn out like this? Did a voice tell you to die? If you smell rot or anything strange, tell me immediately. Is it really you in there? Suana grit her teeth, finally losing her temper and shouting at him. My ears are ringing. I told you I am perfectly fine. I am exhausted. How much longer will you keep asking? He dodged her swing, which only made her angrier. Stand still and take it. Raphael lowered his voice. That is not the point. You said this never happened in your past life. It seems contact with me is the cause, so I am being careful. Suan scoffed. Worry about yourself. You were the one trembling, claiming to see ghosts unless you held my hand. Raphael stammered. Who said I was shaking? I thought it was the middle of winter. You know? This time, it was his turn to grit his teeth. Anyone in my shoes would shake. Besides, weren't you the one shivering because you hate fire? Why would a Saintess who dives into water without hesitation be so terrified of burning? Some traumatic past, perhaps? The words were barely out before Raphael realized he had made a terrible mistake. Suana stared at him, face darkening. Then she asked, You say you hate ghosts, yet you force someone who despises them to come all the way here? Raphael quickly cried out, I misspoke. She continued, Since when did you care enough to make such a scene? He bowed his head. I am sorry. Suana let out a long sigh and turned away from him. Forget it. Since I am certain that if you die, I will just regress again. I have no plans to run away or hide anymore. Since we decided to live together, I will hold your hand as long as you want, until you actually die. Raphael replied sincerely, I am very grateful for that. Suana gave him a thoughtful, lingering smile. If you are that grateful, maybe let me hit you once or twice. You do not like that? Raphael paused. Fine. He stepped forward, opening his arms wide. Go ahead. Suana rubbed her wrists and smirked. No backing out? Without warning, she lunged forward and threw a heavy punch straight into Raphael's chest. Next came a kick to his leg that sent him stumbling back. He gasped, sweating. That hurt. Are you really a Saintess? Suana beamed, feeling refreshed. Raphael then asked, So, are you not angry anymore? Suana replied indifferently, I don't know. It depends on how you behave from now on. Raphael breathed a sigh of relief, then suddenly remembered her words. We decided to live together. I will hold your hand until the very moment you pass away. Wait, until I actually die? Something is wrong here. He quickly chased after her. Wait, Suana, do you know something about my death? Suddenly, she cried out in alarm. Raphael, look over there. As they entered the house, Suana exclaimed in surprise, Wow, this is amazing. They actually followed your instructions. Who would have thought ghosts would actually clean? Look, they even did the laundry. Suana slumped onto the sofa, finally feeling like this place was livable. Behind Raphael, Thomas stood there in a full maid outfit and asked, Hey landlord, tell that woman if we clean this much, we shouldn't have to pay rent, right? Raphael looked shocked. Are you guys serious? Helen grabbed a broom and stepped forward. Just ask her already. Raphael clicked his tongue. Suana, how is the cleaning? She looked surprised. Why? Did the ghosts tell you to ask that? He nodded. Yeah, do you like it? Suana beamed. Like it? I absolutely love it. This is just great. Automated chores are the absolute best. Raphael paused for a moment. I am very happy to hear that. The spirits behind him were stunned. He is actually smiling? We did all the work, but he gets the credit. Seeing Raphael's face suddenly go dark, Suana felt confused. What happened? Is something wrong? He just turned away. No, it is nothing. Seeing An sit down beside her, she grumpily pushed him away because the space was too tight. In the corner, Helen fumed at being ignored. Lucy suggested checking out the Marquis estate, making Thomas curious enough to ask. Lucy replied, I heard their second son fell in love with a lowly maid. Emma gasped in shock. Helen asked excitedly, Wait, really? Let's go. Thomas rubbed his chin. Forbidden love, huh? I suppose that isn't exactly a rare story. Enzo explained, No, they were forced apart. I heard the Marchioness used her wealth to separate them. Helen's eyes sparkled. If money was involved, then it had to be a juicy story. Lucy sighed. That is not real love. Mon chimed in. It is true. I saw it. The poor maid would rather die than be without him. Helen screamed. You just stood there and watched? Why didn't you help them? Mon whispered he was helpless since the master was sent abroad. Raphael finally spoke up. Instead of gossiping here, why don't you all just go see for yourselves? I can't stand another word of this. The ghosts quickly scattered away. Suana asked curiously, What were they talking about that made you so annoyed? Raphael sighed. It was just some silly gossip. Suana went quiet, thinking to herself for a moment. After thinking it over, she stood up suddenly. They worked so hard around here. We should give them a proper reward. Raphael was stunned. Reward ghosts? How? And why do you think they will even come back here? Suana raised a finger. If I prepare a massive feast, won't they just show up on their own? She knew he wouldn't understand the idea of a ritual meal for the dead. Raphael just laughed, thinking the whole thing was absurd. I have never heard of a ghost that actually eats food. She shrugged. Well, you never saw them cleaning house before, either. Raphael fell silent for a few seconds, then nodded. Fine. Go to sleep now. Your room is the one on the left. It's the room at the top of the stairs on the left. I'll head to the market at dawn for food, so don't worry about it. Suana looked confused. Why go all by yourself at dawn? Let's go together in the morning. Raphael shook his head. He explained, Remember how we were kicked out of that restaurant? They only sell to me at the crack of dawn. If I go before the other customers arrive, they will sell me whatever leftover ingredients they have from the day before. Suana was furious. That is just terrible. How could they treat you like that? Raphael replied calmly, Don't be upset. They only stay away because those rumors scare off customers. But once I am a count, everything will finally be okay. Suana spoke softly. Raphael Winters, I have lived as a lowly saintess across many different lifetimes. No matter what ingredients you bring back, I will cook a meal better than the Count's own head chef. Just you wait and see. He smiled back. I understand. I will be looking forward to it. She nodded and turned away. I'm heading upstairs now. Just make sure you get enough ingredients for everyone. Raphael answered. Will do. Get some rest. Good night. Not far away, Maxian and Ket watched the scene unfold and froze. After a few seconds, they both looked at each other and grinned. Ket whispered, He is grinning like an absolute idiot. What a wonderful sight. Truly wonderful. The next day, as the sun rose, Suana yawns and walked downstairs. Good morning, she called out to the empty house. No one answered. Then she remembered Raphael was already at the market. She sat down, mumbling about the ghosts. She slumped onto the couch, her eyes scanning the empty room as she whispered, I still can't wrap my head around living with actual ghosts. Then she called out, Hello? Is anyone there? When no one responded, Suana felt a bit disappointed. I guess there was no way they'd actually talk back. This is so dull. Suddenly, a brilliant idea struck her. There's always a way to reach them, right? She grabbed a pen and a piece of paper and set them on the table. After drawing a circle and an X on the paper, Suana began the ritual. Spirit board, show yourself. Now, what comes after that part again? Tucked away in a corner, Helen watched with suspicion. What on earth is she doing now? Meanwhile, Suana kept her eyes shut tight, chanting under her breath. Spirits, come to me. Come and sit down. Enzo tilted his head. Is she actually calling for us? Chloe shot her hand up. Let me go. But Ket blocked the boy immediately. No way. It is too dangerous. She felt a bone-chilling energy nearby. Run now, Chloe. The boy cried out, confused. What? At the same time, Enzo turned pale. Ugh, what is that awful smell? Suddenly, Chloe coughed up a mouthful of blood, making Ket scream in pure terror. Chloe. At that exact moment, a dark spirit draped in black mist appeared right there before Suana. Helen grabbed her head, screaming as if she were reliving a nightmare from her past. It hurts so much. I am sorry. Enzo started acting the same way. No, you traitors. What? Chloe grabbed Ket and held on for dear life. It hurts. It hurts. She screamed out. Everyone, get together and get out of here right now. They scrambled to their feet and bolted outside. Unlike the others, Suana felt absolutely nothing. She whispered to herself, it is way too quiet in here. Ghost, are you there? Is this how you do it? Right then, the dark spirit in front of her spoke. Yes, I am here. The others left, so I am all alone. Suana gripped the pen, looking totally confused. Oh, it is not moving at all. Did they go out to play? She tossed the pen aside. The spirit watched her, then reached out and picked it up. Suana cheered in excitement. Wow, it moved. That is so cool. This is the first time I have actually made it work. Haha, so what is your name? The spirit hesitated. What? What was my name again? Seeing it scribble across the paper, Suana just kept asking questions. Melissa Willow, Gina Elias? That is a really long name. Is that you? The spirit drew a big X on the paper. Oh, Suana muttered. Parents? Teachers? Every one of them got an X. Suana felt annoyed. Then who are you? A lover? Or maybe an enemy? Ha ha. She suddenly shivered. Why did it get so cold in here? The spirit let out a deafening roar, and the window glass shattered instantly. A moment later, Raphael returned and saw the absolute destruction of the house from the outside. He gasped. Suana, drop those bags on the ground. Raphael rushed inside the house. Damn it, what on earth happened in here? Right then, he heard Suana calling his name. Raphael, help me. He quickly ran toward the sound of her voice. Suana, where are you? Over here. Help me. Raphael started lifting the piles of debris in the room. Suana, are you under here? His eyes widened. Seeing her buried under the wreckage, Raphael collapsed to his knees, blaming himself for everything that went wrong. If only I had stayed with Suana like she asked. None of this would have ever happened. He pulled a knife from his back and held it to his throat. I will come back and save you again. As the blade pressed in, Suana's voice echoed in his head. You are the one who dragged me all the way here. I told you I did not want to see ghosts. Since when did you care about me? He whispered to himself. No, this time, I am not going to come looking for you again. Suana suddenly appeared right behind him. You are not looking for what? Raphael spun around, shocked. Suana. She screamed. Whoa, what the hell are you doing? Put the knife down. Raphael stammered. You are alive? Suana panicked. Just stay calm and put that blade down first. A moment later, amidst the wreckage, Suana patted his shoulder and spoke softly. No matter how many times I called you, you never looked back. You just ran away. I knew something was wrong. What is it? Did you see a ghost or something? Raphael let out a heavy sigh. Suana nodded her head. Yeah. He took her hand and spoke sincerely. When my time comes, I will not run away from it. If I go back to the past, I will never try to hold on to you again. But when I hold your hand, it feels like I can finally breathe again. I do not want to die anymore. Suana was stunned for a second. She forced a laugh and said, Ha ha, that ghost must have been playing a trick on you. I am fine, so do not worry. Once he calmed down, Raphael got curious. By the way, why is the house such a disaster? Suana looked away guiltily. Well, I think they got angry because I was talking to them. Raphael shouted in shock. You talk to ghosts? Why would you do that? You were just possessed not that long ago. What if they follow you because you decided to start chatting with them? Suana answered without thinking. I did it the traditional way. It is very safe. I used to do this with my friends all the time. It is no big deal. Raphael snapped back. Traditional way? Suana realized she said too much and quickly covered her mouth. Oops! His voice grew deep. Does this empire have a tradition of speaking with spirits? I have lived hundreds of lives, and I have never heard of that before. And even if there was, you have been locked away in an attic your entire life. There is no way you could have played those games with friends. Suana tried to brush it off, acting like it was nothing, but Raphael insisted, if it is really no big deal, then you should be able to tell me easily. Suana, who are you? Thank you for watching today's video. Our story is far from over, with plenty of exciting twists and turns still to come. So, do not forget to hit like and subscribe to support the channel so you never miss the latest episodes. Have a relaxing and wonderful time. See you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.